Yo,
what up, man?
who that?
You? It's Hard Will. Back like 2/5, man. It's your boy Hard Will.
What?
You alright, man?
Alright, what's up?
Yo, get up, man. Yo, get up, man. I got some money for you, man. I got this phone.
The
KT
phone?
Wireless.
KT Wireless?
T-Mobile, man. We on here with some bread. We're going to the Knicks game. We back like 2/5.
That's Hard Will?
Yeah, let's go.
For the love of the game?
Yeah, let's go.
Well, I ain't never stop loving you, boy. We back.
We back, baby.
Thank you, man.
Let's go.
I'm ready,
Let's
man.
go.
It's a jolly time of the year, right before the new year. Ain't no other squad better on this day than the Knicks. We back. Best time of the year, they say it's Christmas. Little kids can't wait to see it's Christmas. New clothes, new toys, mean it's Christmas. You see the Knicks, we back, we on Christmas. It's so pretty when you can see the snowfall. That red nose, tell them that it's Rudolph. Chestnuts roasting, the Knicks stay roasting. Tell the whole league we hosting. 12 noon, we back 12 in the 2/5. Biggest tree in the world filled with presents. Little kids, they checking off their wish list. Ho, 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 we celebrating this Christmas. Jingle bell, first game playing in the garden. Tell Santa we got the whole league watching. Right before we celebrate the new year. James Dolan crossing with the reindeers. Parker decks, they filled with no room garage. When it comes to the flow, this here's eggnog. Best believe your boy, yeah, I'm on my job. Celebrate your Christmas with the Knicks squad. The best place in the world, that backstage shopping. I AD'd my wrist so you can keep watching. Shopping sprees all over, this is Times Square. Then it's back to the game at Madison Square. Best time of the year, they say it's Christmas. Little kids can't wait to see it's Christmas. New clothes, new toys, mean it's Christmas. You see the Knicks, we back, we on Christmas. It's so pretty when you can see the snowfall. That red nose, tell them that it's Rudolph. Chestnuts roasting, the Knicks stay roasting. Tell the whole league we hosting.
Back on Christmas, J Boogie predicted this. You can't say St. Nicholas without nicking it. The Knicks on Christmas should be ubiquitous, so shout out if you've been with us. Sitting through the interim, feels like we meant to win. Now we got the kids with us. Potential is limitless. Gifts go down the chimney. Try to put the Grinch on me, pinch me, but I'm not dreaming. It's a new reality. New York is in the top seating. Seasons, greetings, Eastern Conference. Defense, the Gardens rocking. Best fans in the game. We don't do the home away split. Catch me at the Staples, baby. I make the sleigh live. 8 gifts pulling up in the Cambridgers. About to lace the garden with a pack of frankincense and myrrh. Can't resist the urge. Knicks set new squad. Time to burn the competition. Sitting by the U-Law.
Best time of the year, they say it's Christmas. Little kids can't wait to see it's Christmas. New clothes, new toys, mean it's Christmas. You see the Knicks, we back, we on Christmas. It's so pretty when you can see the snowfall. That red nose, tell them that it's Rudolph. Chestnuts roasting, the Knicks stay roasting. Tell the whole league we hosting.
Something wrong with your TV screen. If that orange and blue ain't playing on that red and that green. Favorite players, yeah, but Knicks, they forever the team. Shout out the upstairs, trying to play chess with the team going forward. They're making sure the squad is in order. They know we hated on by all opposing reporters. It's torture. New Yorkers, we built for fourth quarters. Show up to the court or prepare for a slaughter. They wanna hate on the Knicks, tell me what that's doing. Get that stuff out of here, shout out to Pat Ewing. 12 noon jump ball, just know we enemies. We trying to bring home the gold back from the 70s. Oh yeah, we back on Christmas, oh no, can it be? Only us Knicks fans know the whole New York energy. If you ain't know what type of tension this is, Knicks Nation, we'll see y'all on Christmas.
Best time of the year, they say it's Christmas. Little kids can't wait to see it's Christmas. New clothes, new toys, mean it's Christmas. You see the Knicks, we back, we on Christmas. It's so pretty when you can see the snowfall. That red nose, tell them that it's Rudolph. Chestnuts roasting, the Knicks stay roasting. Tell the whole league we hosting.
Yeah, let's go. Hey, Merry Christmas Eve, everybody. Hope everybody's doing great on this Saturday. Merry Christmas Eve day. Yeah, man. I'm just happy to be here. It's been a trying time. And happy to see another Christmas Eve and tomorrow, hopefully, a Christmas day. Hopefully you guys are enjoying yourselves. I know culture wise, it's this is always the split day. Like how do you do it? Everybody has a different tradition. From where I'm raised, um, we celebrate on Christmas Eve. I know another, in other cultures, and everybody does things differently. People celebrate on Christmas Day. So whatever it is, Merry Christmas to everybody, and hopefully you have a wonderful holiday. Wishing you the best. So that being said, guys, sorry for the delay. As I was starting to show up, I noticed a couple things that didn't look right, and StreamYard was not cooperating. I'm hitting buttons, and the things that's supposed to be happening wasn't happening. So I said, you know what? Thankfully, the show hasn't started yet. So let me just restart the computer and get everything straight. And for those of you who may not be technologically savvy out there, when in doubt, reboot. I learned that in computer science a long, long time ago. Things ain't working, restart, reboot, do what you got to do, and maybe that'll fix it. And usually it does. So yeah, it's pretty much what we got going on so far. I understand that some people are still trying to travel out there because of the weather, the storm that happened with this frigid cold. The temperatures is bananas on the East Coast. Let me see, just for my own reference. Oh, it's nice 12 degrees right now. Whew, that wind chill must be cutting. We're going up to a balmy 18 as the high today over here in the East Coast, New York area. So fun times. I mean, I guess if my whole thing is we never get hit with the white Christmas too often. But if you were going to have a white Christmas, if you're going to give me 12 degrees, you might as well give me the white Christmas. You know what I mean? Like, let's get it all going. What we doing here? Just saying. Maybe it's just me. I'm like, if I'm gonna deal with the cold, I'm not gonna really want to be out there anyway. Give me the white Christmas, one, because we get to see snow, and it'll warm things up a little bit. Not for nothing, but whatever. Anyway, salute to everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in. Happy holidays to all of you and your families. Walter Blackman, I appreciate you. I see you, my brother. He said, good morning, Ron. Happy holidays to you and your family and your podcast. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Happy holidays to you and yours as well. Ashley Inc. in the building. What up, Wiz? Thank you, man. He said, ready to drop some knowledge so we can know the ledge. Facts. Because, I think it's an interesting time. It's an interesting time as a Knicks fan. We're going to get through it, man. Listen, nothing can be worse than what we faced earlier in the season and how they were playing. They're playing much better now. They deserved to win last night up until the last 3 minutes of the game. Or if you want to get real technical, the last minute and a half of the game when they weren't knocking down the free throws. But it is what it is. Shout out to Comega. What's good, my brother? Salute. Good morning. Yes, to my guys, Ron, John, and Jose. Yes. Shout out to Jose. Appreciate you, my brother. Hope you're having a good time with your family and enjoying this holiday weekend. And to my man, John, hopefully you are having a good time. I know where he's at, it should be wonderful. All the stuff he's seeing on vacation. So I hope he's enjoying it. The only thing that I may think that he may not be so excited about is that it's supposed to be a little bit warmer where he's at, and I hear it's a little cold over there. So sometimes you can't escape it. It's not as cold as here, but it's actually really cold for over there. So anyway, shout out to Sherwin. Blessings all. Have a Merry Xmas, and please check in an elder for their safety. Yeah, no, facts. I hear you, my brother. Thank you for that. Travel Vibes is in the building. Salute. Happy holidays. Same to you and yours. Thank you. Ed Winning in the building. What's going on? Morning. Happy holidays to you and yours, my brother. Wonder Woman is here. Happy holidays to Ron in the chat. Blessings to everyone. Same to you and yours. Listen, man, I don't know what's going on, Wonder Woman, but DC is wilding out. I know we've talked about this already. I've already mentioned it, but every day is something else. Now it's Black Adam. Like, what's going on, man? What is going on? It's crazy. Crazy stuff over there. Listen, if he's doing all this over there, he better turn DC around. Like, he better come with some fire. Because if he don't come with some, because I've heard, I don't really follow this guy, but I've heard he's done this other places that he's been, and it doesn't mean it necessarily worked out. So this guy's changing the whole DC culture. He better come with some fire, because DC has had a black eye on it for a long time. And we already know that, once again, Marvel has been kind of dropping the ball a little bit with some of their content lately. Some of the Marvel fans haven't been happy, me being one of them. Some of the stuff is, you know what I mean? And then I guess what happens is the expectations get overly high because you've seen so much kind of middle of the pack stuff compared to what Marvel's excellence, their level has been. And so then when the movies come out, like Black Panther, which I still haven't seen, I know it's been crazy. And then I don't know what else came out. Something else came out before Black Panther, I think. That was okay. It was kind of hit or miss. But like then the expectations get so high that when these movies come out, people are like, oh, this is going to be the best thing ever because the first one was this and we really need it because all the other content's been kind of And then you watch it and your expectations are too high and you don't really enjoy it the way you would like to. So yeah, I mean, that's what's kind of been going on right now. I mean, the last thing that really hit from Marvel was Spider-Man. And so DC has a shot. I don't know if I like the way it's going, but hey. Will Sulkin in the building. Salute. Merry Xmas and happy holidays. Same to you and yours. Appreciate you. DSJ is in the building. He says salute to everyone in the chat. Salute to Ron. Appreciate you, my brother. Happy holidays to you and yours. Thank you for being here. King Ribby. What I do, King Ribby? What I do? What's going on, man? Salute to you and yours, bro. Happy holidays. Kaiser Soze 718 says happy Sabbath. Same to you and yours, brother. Appreciate you. Craig is in the building. He said, bro, it's freezing outside. Salute, Ron. Happy holidays. Same to you and yours, Craig. It is Brick Nation out there. Someone said something on Twitter. I was dying laughing, and now I can't remember it. Something funny, man. I don't know what he said. I don't know. I can't remember now, but it was funny. I was like, I never heard somebody say that when with regards to it being cold. I was like, oh, yeah, it's a fact. William, all the way from Brazil. See, you're not dealing with this, William. Appreciate you, man. Salute to you. Happy holidays. I don't know exactly. I mean, I would think you guys celebrate a little bit the same way, but maybe you guys got, do things a little differently in Brazil. But salute to you and happy holidays. He says, salute, bro. Bad loss, but RJ will be a star. Will be star. We can say it now. Yeah, we'll see, William. I think he's RJ. That's just what he is, man. Look, I said it before. I was really disappointed in RJ for the most part of this season, not because of the fact that he got off to a slow start, because he gets off to a slow start every year. And I already said I knew this RJ was coming, like the RJ who goes on the scoring barrage and starts doing things to what we've seen in the past. I mean, that's who RJ is. That's the reason. See, I think what people get lost in is the fact that these players work so hard to get where they're at. They're watched like for their entire young life. As soon as you show any instance of being a good player or showing any type of skills, you're under a microscope, right? Because they're like, okay, he's playing pretty well. He's got decent height. Looks like he could grow. That's it. Once they see that type of stuff, you're already on the microscope, right? And then as you progress, you get a little better, you get a little taller, maybe you start to fill out a little bit more, get a little weight on you, you be aggressive, you can do different things. They start to, light up, and the anticipation gets crazy, and then the coverage gets even more intense. And so these guys have to go through all of that. RJ's had to go through all of that. Thankfully for him, his godfather being Steve Nash kind of prepared him and helped him, showed him what to expect and how to approach things. His father is been very influential. He understands how things are as well. And so RJ's had all of that. So that nothing's the moment's never too big for him. The issue I had with RJ is his decision making and his lack of I don't want to say effort, but maybe it is effort for RJ, on the defensive end. Or awareness, his lack of awareness on the defensive end, because I think he comes out to play. It's just that, he wasn't aware of certain things that were happening on the defensive end, getting beat backdoor, overcommitting to the help and then allowing his man to beat him. Stuff like that. And then the other two things, as I said, one was be the decision making, some of his thought process, driving up on 2 guys, 3 guys, and going into the heart of the defense. And then knowing you can't elevate over the guys and getting blocked or getting your shot altered or taking bad shots at certain points, making bad passes, just bad decision making. All right. And then the third thing, which really disappointed me this year, which I've already talked about, which he's starting to get better at. He's getting better at all of that, better at the decision making, not doing some of the crazy stuff that I saw him doing earlier. And better at the shots, a stronger commitment to defense, which I thank Grimes and McBride for helping on the perimeter so he can kind of really level out and focus a little better. He's not running all over the place trying to guard the best guy. And his willingness to pass to his teammates. That is one of those things this year that's bothered me a lot about RJ. I do think he's doing much better at it. I think he's believing in his teammates a little better, but he still has moments. Last night I saw him miss a couple guys, but that's okay because last night was RJ's night. Like he was feeling it. And if anything, they might have just passed the ball back to him because that's how good he was last night. So I'm not going to, make a big deal about it. It's just, you just want him to be, he doesn't have to make the pass every single time. You're going to miss guys. I get it, but I want him to be cognizant of it. I want you to see it. Like, okay, I see you. I may not get you this time, but I'll get you next time. And sometimes, I've seen him, it doesn't look like he sees it. So that's the whole thing. Yeah, but I knew he was going to rebound as far as his scoring and what he does out there in the court. That part, you knew it was coming because every year it's the same thing. So we can't look at him like all of a sudden he's a bust or he's a bum because he had a really slow start. You could just say that we want him to clean up certain things that don't look good. Like his defense needs to be better, his passing needs to be cleaner, and decision making needs to be better. But the other things, him scoring and going on his runs, we knew that was coming. At least I knew it was coming. I think most Knicks fans who followed RJ being here, this is his 4th year. He's done it every year, so it was bound to come at some point. All right. Kareem Grant, what up, twin? Happy holidays, bro. Hope you and yours are doing great. Hope you're having fun out there, whatever you're doing. Or inside because it's cold. It's Brick Nation out there. Salute, man. Salute. All right, let me get through a couple more people. El Survey's in the building. Salute. Happy holidays to you and yours. Minus Trill isn't. It's how it feels outside. Minus 2 Trill. Merry Christmas. RJ should be wearing a cape after last night. Facts. It's a shame, man. It's a shame. But you know what? It's a lesson. You know what I mean? RJ dropped 44 and we lost the game down the stretch. This is a lesson to not only the team but to RJ as well. When you play right and make the right plays and commit to not turning the ball over and commit to knocking down your free throws, you win games. When you don't do that type of stuff, you lose. And it's not his fault last night because he was on, but it's been his fault in the past. He hasn't, let's not forget how bad it was last year, to the point where he had to, go back into the lab and shoot extra free throws to get better this year. The whole team had to do it. That's how bad they were. So this is why, you got to pay attention to that. Oh, and I missed that. Yeah, Kareem, I think we probably need to do that, man, because I'm a big Marvel, DC kinda a little bit, but yeah, and I know Eru likes that stuff too, so maybe we do need to do that one of these days. Jay Boogie, what's going on, fam? Hopefully you and yours are doing great. He said, "Good morning, family. AM to the AM. Blessing, health, happiness to you all. Happy holidays to you all. Know that you all deserve the togetherness of these holidays together." Oh man, 23, we coming. Yes, it's a fact. Thank you, Jay Boogie. Happy and healthy holidays to you and your family. Appreciate you, my brother. Thank you for blessing us with we back on Christmas. So you see, I rock that to start the show because that's the right mood right now. That's the right mood. David L in the building. Salute to you. We got JB to help us not blow games, and JB blows this game. Yeah. I know. As I was saying last night when I called into nothing but Knicks NBK, I was talking to Sim and Savvy. Listen, Julius Randle is not a number one, but he's our number one. At least he plays like that for us because we don't have anybody else that really commands that stage, that role for us. And he's willing to do it. And sometimes he does it well, right? It may not always work out, but he's our guy for that. He may not be that guy for everybody. Like most of the teams in the NBA or scouts and executives may not look at Julius Randle as a number one, and he may not be. But for this Knicks team, he's the number one we got. We can see it. At some point, we thought it might be JB because he has the ball in his hands and he was doing really well at certain points. But you can see on this win streak that they had, getting the ball to Julius Randle and him setting the stage, setting the tone for everybody, you can see he's really the number one guy because he's got that ability and he's willing to take the stage. He's not going to back down. But it doesn't mean it's always going to work. And he may not lead you to the promised land by himself. He needs help. Same thing with Jalen Brunson. For Jalen Brunson, look, I think that he is our closer. Does that mean he's the best at the role? No, but we don't have anybody, to me, that's better at it. Like, you could say that Jalen Brunson has not stepped up in certain occasions and he has missed a couple big shots. Remember, there was a game that he missed there was two instances where he had a chance to either win the game or tie it. I don't know. I think it was either he had a chance to tie the game, and then maybe we were tied and he had a chance to win the game, and then we wound up going to overtime. And I don't know if we won or lost. I think we might have lost. And he had a chance to tie the game in overtime to keep us in it. And he didn't hit the shots, the layups. It was floaters. Like it just didn't go in, something like that. He ain't going to hit it all the time. But then again, no one really thought JB was that guy. We just wanted JB to come in here, give us some good scoring, solid efficiency, create for other guys, be a little better playmaker than what we've had, which he has been. And kind of make things a little easier for RJ and Julius, which he has done as well. The whole taking the reins and being the guy at the end of games, that's new. So, and I think he's been doing a much better job at it. I mean, because if we're going to look at the track record, compare JB's track record of hitting big baskets down the stretch of games and getting us, in position to win compared to RJ or to Julius. We saw RJ hit 2 game-winning shots, but how many other shots has he missed? How many layups has he missed down the stretch or turnovers has he had down the stretch when the pressure's on? Same with Julius. We saw him. He hit a game winner in the past or maybe 2 game winners in his career with the Knicks, but I haven't seen him hit a bunch of them. I've seen him hit one in the preseason, like, was it last year or 2 years ago? No, it was last year. But like when it counts, how many times have we seen him hit like the big shot at the end. He was missed a lot at the buzzer or giving us a chance to win when we were like, losing. It doesn't always happen. I say what I've seen so far from JB, he's been a little better at it. That doesn't mean he's really that guy, but for this Knick team that doesn't have that guy, he's the best we got. And sometimes it's just not going to fall. But I hear you, David L. Like, you don't want to say necessarily somebody's clutch until they prove that they can do it consistently for an extended period of time. But as far as what this Knick team has, I think he's the most efficient and gives us the best chance down the stretch of games, because when his stuff is on and he has the good looks, he's got a really good chance of that shot going in. Last night the Bulls played excellent defense, so don't blame it all on JB, man. He is 6'1", and we've been, as much as I praise him for doing what he's doing at 6'1", it can hurt him too, especially when you deal with a team that has better length than you, and these guys are playing solid defense and helping on the guy. Like, they were taking him out of this game, and they did a great job. So sometimes it's not always about the guy. It's about what the defense did, and they played really good defense against them. So hats off to them for that. All right. Sherwin said RJ is now shooting 35% from three. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, you blink twice, and you're like, what happened? Because things happen quick, man. RJ goes on those runs. It's always been that guy. So this is nothing new for us. It's just we saw a little too much of the bad, so we kind of forgot what the good looks like. It is what it is. Shout out to Cameron Goldberg. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. Happy holidays to you and yours. I don't know if I've seen your name necessarily in the chat before, but if you've been here, thank you for being here again. And if this is your first time, welcome to the, still Knicks family. He said, even a superstar won't make a difference for this team. They can't play good on their home court. They need to fix that. That is a problem. I don't know what that's about, Cameron. I don't get it at all. The Knicks have had an issue playing at home for the last few years, I think. I'm trying to remember if they were dealing with that when Fizdale was here too. I kind of feel like they were, but I'm not sure. But I definitely know under Thibodeau, they've been playing better on the road. I don't know what that's about. I have no clue. But I hear you. They definitely need to work on that. Interesting. That's interesting, Sherwin. I don't know. I mean, I've been feeling that way too, but you know what? It's kind of one of those things. RJ has played a lot at the 2 in this season. Like, as much as I wanted him to play the 2, he's played a lot at the 2, and he struggled at the 2 as well, because it was all during that stretch early in the season where he's been struggling. He was struggling at the 2. He was struggling at the 3. I've always thought that RJ plays better at the 2, but if he's bad, he's bad, no matter where you put him. But right now, I think he's good, and he's so good right now that I think it doesn't matter if he's at the 2 or the 3. I guess it kind of just depends on how the rest of the guys are doing. Listen, if JB played well last night, if the Bulls didn't have that suffocating defense on him, the Knicks win the game easy to me, because the way Julius was playing and the way RJ was playing, like, you win that game. I've said it before. The Knicks have only, if I'm not mistaken, I would have to look back. I don't want to just say something blatantly. I feel like the Knicks have only had RJ, Jalen, and Randall play well together 2 times. And I mean, all of 3 of them really having good games. I think it's only been 2 times, maybe 3. But when they all play that well, that way, I think they have a great chance of winning games. And they could have won last night if that was the case, but the Bulls decided to take JB out, and there's nothing he could do about it. Unfortunately, what it does is they took him out, made him to be in positions where he's putting shots up and they're contested and it's not good looks, and then it kind of takes you out of the game. Like, it makes your shooting and your touch go off. You don't have a rhythm. So then when you need him down the stretch, it really came back to bite them. It's a shame. But it was a smart play by the Bulls. I mean, there's a reason why a lot of people are disappointed at how they've been playing, because we know they're better than the way they look. And they've got some players like Ayo, the Son. I can't even say it. The Sunamo. I can't say it. What's going on? I might need one of them pronunciation things to spell it out. I need that, because I don't know. I can't get it. Anyway, Ayo was suffocating yesterday. He played really good defense, and whatever help they bring, kudos to them. Let's see. Agent Super Argo, salute. Happy holidays to you and yours. He said the defensive effort wasn't there. Like the first two meetings against the Bulls, the wide open 3-point shooting was ridiculous. And the ultimate culprit of this game, the crucial free throws. Yes, 100%. The free throws, that whole situation was horrible, man. That's one of the worst things. And you can't even you can be mad about it, but you can't be extremely over the top with it, because the Knicks have improved drastically. Look at how good the Knicks free throw shooting has been as a team this year compared to last year. I think the Knicks are shooting at 80% for a team, maybe a little less now, but let me see what's going on here. Because I am curious. I think they really upped the ante with the way they're doing things. You know what I mean? They ain't fooling around. Free throws. Let's see. They're just under. So the Knicks are shooting 78.8% this year. And let's look at what the Knicks shot last year. The Knicks shot 74.4%. So they basically upped their free throw percentage by 5 points. You want to say 4 points? Definitely. Okay. But it's almost 5 points. Right now it's just dropped down a little bit, because at one point it was closer to 80. So yeah, basically almost 5 points. They've improved their free throw shooting as a team. That's tremendous. Yeah. So shout out to them. I mean, but unfortunately they picked a bad time to shoot the blanks. So yeah, it is what it is. Let's see. Yeah, okay, there's some good points here. Sherwin said RJ seems to be quicker and bouncier. I agree. RJ can be a black hole at times. Yeah, he has his moments. But I just feel like he can, it's just surprising because it's year 4, so you would think certain things would be kind of worked out already, but he's still very young. That's the thing about a guy like RJ. He's 22 years old. He's still very young, and still some things you got to continue to work on and learn from. David L said, "Don't need superstar kid. Mitch got spanked, Grimes bad." Yeah. I mean, yeah. El Servi said the 9-man rotation is already catching up to us. Players are tired in the fourth. If they want to make a real run, they need to address the rotation. Nobody on this team should be playing 40 minutes. Listen, El Servi, I'm just letting it all play out. Look, I've been saying it. I don't want to keep saying it because it sounds like I'm a negative dude or negative Nancy, all that stuff. I said before, I thought they needed to trade Julius Randle because he was our best asset. Did that mean that I don't want Julius Randle as a Knick? No. I like Julius Randle on this team. I want him to be here. But I feel like if the Knicks wanted to improve going forward, they need to move something. They already cap strapped. They can't sign any free, high-priced free agents. Not that anybody wants to come here. I don't know why, but you know what I mean? Like, they can't go that route. You can hope that they can find somebody in the draft, but that's no guarantee. We don't know that. We don't even know where we're going to wind up picking. So the only way to guarantee you get somebody that you want to be on the team is to go trade for the person. And the only way to get somebody in the trade is to give up something valuable. because teams ain't just going to give their good players to you. You got to give something up. And some teams don't just want draft picks. They want players who can play now. I mean, they don't want your stuff that you don't want. They don't necessarily want a Fournier that they got to figure out how he works for their team. They don't necessarily want a Cam because not everybody believes in Cam, even though he has ability. They've seen the issues that he's dealt with in Atlanta and with the Knicks. They know the injury history. Excuse me. So then you got to think, okay, well, who's next on the list? Obi is a promising young talent, but they see Obi doesn't play defense. So it depends on what team you have. If you've got a team right now that's young and is already struggling with defense, do you want to bring in an Obi? Probably not. Now, if you have a team that's good in defense, but struggling on the offensive side and maybe is lacking some athleticism, needs more athleticism, or people who can push the pace and help with that, Obi's a great fit. But a guy that you can say, can bring him in right now and you know what you're getting, 20-10-5 type guy. That's Julius Randle, and he fits a lot of teams in the NBA. And that's why he looks like our best trade piece. Doesn't mean I want to get rid of him, guys, and I wouldn't give him away for nothing. I'm just saying, if we got to make a move, he's the guy that might have to be a part of it. You tell me. Now, outside of that, back to this point, Tibbs is doing Tibbs things, guys. It looks good right now. They had a nice little streak, but when that stuff doesn't happen, when you're not winning games and you're losing games, even though they could have won last night, just look at the amount of time these guys are playing. Look at the minutes, and we're going to look at that in a little bit, but look at how many minutes these guys are playing. Eventually, it's going to catch up to you. And you said it, El Servi. You're starting to see it now. I didn't want to bring it up and make a big deal about it. I want to ride the streak out and root for my Knicks. Let's go, and not be a negative person. I just want to watch how it plays out, and I'm happy that we were able to turn things around. But those are the type of things that you got to worry about when you start closing the rotation and playing these guys the way he's been playing them. I knew he was getting back to his old ways because I kept seeing the minutes. And, the other day, was it a week or 2 weeks ago? RJ's been playing a lot of minutes, but Grimes played 44 minutes. Quentin Grimes, who, hasn't really been able to play because of little nagging injuries and stuff. Quentin Grimes, who wears a sleeve on his right leg, I believe. You playing him 44 minutes? Just saying, guys. And then the other thing was it the Toronto game? It had to be the Toronto game because I couldn't watch the Golden State game because I don't have TNT. Yeah, I think it was the Toronto game. If I'm not mistaken, I think Julius Randle played the whole first quarter. And when I saw that, I said, man, he is really back to his old ways. We talked about this. You cannot play these guys a whole quarter and not rest them. I don't care if he's got it cooking. Look, you gotta be the warden for these guys and stop them from them, save them from themselves sometimes. So I don't know. Whatever. It is what it is, guys. Well, hopefully it doesn't fall apart. But if you start to see tired legs, if you start to see the Knicks look lethargic over the next couple games, if you start to see their defensive effort not being there, you know why. Craig said RJ was trying to get a 50 burger, and that helped us lose the game with the lack of ball movement. I don't know, Craig. I mean, listen, you're right that he's, when you start to lock in and really, go with one guy and keep feeding that guy the ball, does it, take the rest of the team out of the game? Yes. Does it not keep the defense honest? So they're like, oh, well, RJ's cooking, so they're just going to keep feeding RJ. We can kind of work on him. But the thing is, when you look at RJ's numbers, he was cooking. Like, he was hitting, and he was 6 of 6 from 3. And that last 3 he hit, the 6th one, wet those, man. That dude was all in the grill, and he still wet those. I was like, man, RJ is cooking. So if he was missing shots and forcing, and he had bad, efficiency numbers, then I would say it really hurt them. But he was cooking, and his efficiency looked great, 100% from three, and I think he was high 40s or maybe even 50% from the field. So I don't think it was that big of a deal. It's just maybe you could say that it didn't keep the guys fresh, and so no one else could really step up and help out when the defense started to clamp down late in the fourth. Maybe that. Dan, Alcinet or Alcanet? I know I'm probably butchering that because this is the first time I've seen that type of last name. Shout out to you. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Once again, maybe you've been here before, but I don't recall. And my memory is horrible, so don't kill me if that's the case. But if this is your first time, welcome to the Still Knicks family, and thank you for tuning in. Happy holidays to you and yours. Salute. Appreciate you. He said this one hurt. Yes. David L. Said the only good news is you saw Trust last year. Vroom had took the shot, not let JB ask for the ball. You're right. Oh, and guys, just for you who may not know, Vroom is Julius Randle. Okay, I didn't know that for a minute. I had to really what are you trying to say, David L? And I was looking through all your posts. I'm like, oh, it's Julius. My bad. Sorry, I'm a little slow. Yeah, let's see. Shout out to Eric Horn. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. He said, greetings from Jackson, Mississippi. It's 17 degrees this morning. Wow. Yeah, happy holidays to you and yours, brother. I know it's frigid out here. Frozen tundra. It's like we in Green Bay or something. Thank you for being here. He said we survived 100 people. Shout out to you. Tibbs is going to have them shooting free throws till their arms fall at facts. Yeah, they need to. They got to get it back, man. Got to get it back. And salute to you, you and yours, and happy holidays. And another thing is the Knicks got to get Grimes more comfortable. He doesn't have to be the go-to guy down the stretch. That's not his role. But he's got to feel more comfortable down the stretch dealing with the pressure. As a Knick, I talked about it a little bit last night on MBK. I feel like he's been really good at playing his role. And sometimes that can be a fault, right? Because we saw in the game, who did we play right before Golden State? Man, let me pull this up. My memory is trash bag sometimes. Got to tell you guys, got to work on this. I need some ginkgo biloba, some vitamin B. Yeah, got to get it together. No bueno. Let's see here. So Toronto, Golden State, Indiana. I think it was the Indiana game. Was it? It had to be because Grimes didn't play against Toronto. Yeah, it had to be an Indiana game. I think. Well, anyway, it was one of these games. I think it was the Indiana game, in which they trapped Grimes at half court. But before he got to half court, he had the ball. It was inbounded. And then we had like a minute or so to play. And instead of advancing the ball, because remember, Grimes was a former point guard in high school and stuff. Instead of advancing the ball and just dribbling past half court and getting to a better set and then waiting for somebody to come along and grab the ball from him, he stopped as soon as he got it mid court before getting to the half court line. And he was looking around as soon as he grabbed it, like he was looking around, looking for someone to pass it to, a point guard. Like that shows that he's so used to playing the role and giving it up in those pressure type situations. He just didn't know what to do. At that point, he could have just dribbled it up as soon as he got it, and we could have avoided that. But no, then he dribbled and got to the half court line and the worst possible spot. You guys know that when you're taught what a half court trap is, Grimes stood in exactly the spot where you're taught to grab somebody for a half court trap. It's just the worst possible place to be. And so you want to, avoid being in that situation at all costs. And unfortunately, he put himself in that spot. But that points to him just not feeling that comfortable in those type of situations, and deviating to, I'm playing my role. Let me get the ball to the guy that I trust or the team trust. Sometimes you gotta bring it up. You gotta be that guy, at least to get it to a point where you can reset. And at that moment, he just didn't feel confident to do that. So, and we saw what happened. Let's see. Long Island Sound is in the building. What's good? Happy holidays to you and yours. He said, we lost because our stupid on defense assignments and personnel, 6 or 7 wide open threes in a row, scrambling from the paint to contest the three. Like, why is the paint packed? You bums don't rebound. I will say that that's a good point, Long Island Sound. Sometimes it really helps to know your competition and understand that we've out rebounded them pretty handily the first couple times we played them this year. And they don't seem to be that great at rebounding because a lot of the guys maybe stay on the perimeter. Even Vucevic is not necessarily always in good position to get rebounds the way they play him. So yeah, I can't argue with you. You make a good point. Tibbs's defense, I've even when it's been good, I say the whole giving up that 3-point shot is a tough one. And we continue to do it with this defense. But yeah, we should have played to what our strengths are. We know we're strong on the boards, and the Knicks should have made a commitment to get those rebounds. Basically, put the Bulls in a situation where they don't get a lot of second chance opportunities, and also, force a team that's not a great 3-point shooting team to beat us. In other ways, outside of just allowing them to get the threes, because that's the thing. Like when you face a team that you think is not a good 3-point shooting team, you're giving them the shot, but you can't do that. You got to take that shot away, force them to beat you off the dribble and do other things. The solid 2 perimeter guys that they have on that team is Levine, because he can knock down a mid range, and then it's DeRozan, who is lights out. So everybody else is just a regular guy. You don't know exactly what they're going to bring to the table out there on the court. So you got to just kind of see what you can do. Take them off that 3-point line and make them beat you somehow, some other way. If Vucevic is the one, make him get off that line and drive to the hoop. I mean, he's a big man. I don't think he's going to have success all the time. I don't think that's his game. So I agree with you. Stuff like that. Sherwin said, Randall haters, can you name 10 players who are playing at a higher level than Randall today? Where do Randall stand in the MVP race? Oh, well, that's interesting. I mean, I don't know. Randall's been playing great, so I would have to do some research on that. But I could tell you he's been playing really well. And at one point, he even could have won Player of the Week in the NBA. So yeah, I'm not going to argue with you there. And I'm not a Randall hater, as I've said before, but I'm just, speaking up. I don't think Randall stands anywhere in the MVP race because the Knicks it's too early. And usually that MVP race comes down to like the top 3 teams in each, conference, like the top 6, that's when you kind of get looked at strongly. Knicks are in the middle of the pack right now, so I don't think you would even kind of get judged in that way. Stafford Don Bo in the building. He said, happy holidays. Big up, King. Salute to the chat. Appreciate you, my brother. Happy holidays to you and yours, man. Blessings and blessings for you, my brother. Let's see. Parrish Doug is in the building. He says, I don't think they did a great job on JB. Oh, and shout out to you, Parrish Doug. Happy holidays to you and yours, my brother. He said, I think he has a very fast gear and a regular gear. When he's regular, he's guardable. When we lost on the flunky 4 missed field goals. That's it. Oh, fluky 4 missed field goals. I don't know, man. Parrish, when I was watching him, the Bulls looked like they had him boxed up, man. And the defense that Ayo was playing on him, especially in that fourth towards the end, it was tough, man. Ayo was getting at him. I don't know. I hear you. Like, I don't know. I felt like whenever he got into that lane, there was another little person, another little person. There was another person waiting for him. Like I feel like the defensive strategy was to take JB out the game because you don't know that RJ was going to drop 44 and be lights out from three. If anything, you might say Julius is someone we got to worry about because Julius lit them up the other two times, and they didn't have Caruso because Caruso played good defense on him at points. But I think they felt like the key to stopping the Knicks was JB. And I think it's right. I think they picked the right person to stop. I think if you're looking at how the Knicks play their games, taking Jalen Brunson out of it is a big key to stopping what the Knicks like to do. The only issue was RJ was lights out. Think about it like this. We had a chance to win the game, right? But remember, it was going back and forth. We had a 2-point lead, a 3-point lead. And this is what RJ dropping 44 and being 100% from 3-point range. Think about it. If RJ had missed a couple of those threes, like a regular player, you're not supposed to hit 100% from your shots. But what if he had missed 2 or 3 of those threes? Huh? What if his shooting from the field wasn't as good as it was, and he missed a few shots, there like that? It makes a much tougher game, and it shows that the defensive strategy might have worked. That's all I'm saying is it was a good plan, and it probably makes the most sense because Julius nor RJ usually wins games by themselves. They need help. And so JB has been that help. So when he gives you what he gives you, though, like I said, those guys look a lot better, and we have a much better chance of winning. So I thought it was a smart defensive strategy, and I think it did affect them. And I think they did a good job, especially in that fourth quarter. Now, earlier in the game, maybe not so much. You could be pointing to the whole game, Parrish, and you may not be wrong in that capacity. I'm just really focusing on the fourth because that's crunch time and that's when it matters. So you might be right too. Knicks Nation, shout out to you. Happy holidays to you and yours, my brother. He said, "Good day, Ron." SKF family, the chat. Knicks Nation, yes. D-Raz in the building. Salute to you and yours. Happy holidays. And Knicks fans have win. Oh yeah, win-lose personality. Yeah, definitely. We Jekyll and Hyde. We go back and forth. Salute to you and yours, man. Thank you for being here. Deron Wayne is in the building. Salute, my brother. Good to see you. Happy holidays to you and yours. Appreciate you. Francisco Carrillo in the building. Salute to you and yours, my brother. Happy holidays. He said Mitch got kicked in the huevos. I'd be slow too. I hear that. That's never fun, man. Don't even play around with me like that. I'm gonna come back to that. Let me see if there's anybody else. I just want to say what's up to everybody real quick and then get back into it. Shout out to Kerry Cooper. Salute to you and yours. Happy holidays, my brother. He says, "Salute, Ron. Happy Saturday." The right about the overplay of these guys missing free throws shows tired legs. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Nev, the Disruptor, is in the building. Salute, Ron, in the chat. Happy holidays to you and yours. D'Angelo, happy holidays, brother. Hopefully you're doing well. Don't eat too much pasta fajoule or whatever you eat, because I would love some pasta fajoule right now. I'll tell you right now. What's good, brother? Shout out to Almighty Finesse. What's good? Salute. Happy holidays to you and yours. Billy Goat, same. Happy holidays to you and yours. Brunson just had a bad game. He was moving like he was hurt. Grimes was off too. Those missed free throws were the game. That was it. That was definitely it. Let me creep back up a little bit. All right. And let me get that out of the way. Yeah, so let me do this. Let me put the invite in the chat just in case anybody wants to jump on. I know it's a busy day. Once again, I understand that today is Christmas Eve. You might be celebrating today, so I'm sure you got stuff planned, or you might be celebrating tomorrow. Either way, Merry Christmas to everybody out there. So obviously, guys, you're welcome to join in. Feel free. And if there's any newcomers out there or any old comers that are like, oh man, one day I'm gonna get on the panel. Today could be the day. It's Christmas time, man. Face your fears. It's okay either way. So let me do this. Let me, as I get my little sip of water on, let me hit the regular intro real quick. You know what I mean? Why not? Oh, my bad, guys. I didn't know y'all was gonna be back so fast. You know how it is. That Know the Ledge joint just gets me going. Oh man, some good stuff right there. Okay. DSJ says that's Delano Still Jr. For those of you who don't know. It's disappointing when a draft prospect does well for another team. I wanted us to take AO in the draft, and yesterday was a good example of drafting him over Deuce. Yeah. It's tough, man, because I'm happy we have Deuce on the team if he gets used properly. But Deuce might have some tough issues offensively here and there, and he's a rhythm guy. Probably really needs to get going to be effective. You may not need as much of that from AO. AO might be better offensively and can give you a little bit more at certain times, but they don't use him that much. Defensively, I mean, does AO give you that much more than what Deuce can give you? I don't know. He's really good defensively, though. No question about it. But I think Deuce can be really good defensively too. It's a little different because Deuce plays that type of lockdown defense on you. However, I think he's very effective overall. Like his hands, his length, and how he gets into the passing lanes. He does a lot of different things to really influence what's going on out there. So it's interesting. But you know what? Why don't I just get your take on it personally and see how you really feel about it? Why don't I do that?
Hey,
What happening, man? What happening?
what's going on? First off, salute to everybody in the chat. Salute to you and happy holidays.
Same to you and yours, brother. Appreciate you.
Yeah, man. So let me clarify because I don't want it to come off like I don't like McBride when the truth of the matter is I actually do. The problem is that I feel like Miles McBride is limited in the things that he can do offensively.
Right.
And so that would require a little bit more development as opposed to just writing him off and saying he can't do it. And maybe he just needs more time to work on those things, as opposed to where DeSumo is a little bit more advanced and has shown that ever since his time in Illinois. So I was watching them when he was recording like triple doubles in consecutive games to the point where, again, he became he became player of the month for that conference.
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm watching him and learning his game, he gets injured. When he gets injured, that team struggles. And I mean, there's like no dribble penetration anymore. There's no actual on-ball defense to where you're actually suffocating ball movement. And I started to see those elements missing when Ayo was out. Ayo comes back from the injury, and it's like picking up right where we left off. And it's like, wow, for him to be that much of a difference maker on that team, yeah, that's somebody that I wanted in that draft. You know what I mean? But that draft, honestly, I think this is where I fell out of love with the front office, because out of everybody that I wanted us to draft, whether it was Trey Murphy, Trey Mann, Io, and Jericho Sims, the only one that we got out of that whole thing was Sims. So, you know, at the end of the day, I just felt like, again, for what Miles McBride does, I'm not missing anything specifically if I bring in Desumu, but what I'm getting back from it is I'm getting an advance in regards to offensive play. So I don't need for somebody to set a screen for Io to get an opportunity to dribble past and get into the lane, as opposed to with McBride. McBride needs to get a screen set for him more often than not. He relies too much on that jump shot where Io basically, again, the dribble penetration allows him to get into the lane, go up for the layups, and, whether it's contested or not. He also has the length at the point guard position at about 6'4", 6'5", depending on who's measuring that day, in order to, again, do those things effectively.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I mean, that I kind of understood that that's where you were going with it, and I agree with you. That's the thing about Deuce, like that the offensive ability that he has, it's not as easily present as someone like an AO. Like, AO can go get his shot. He may just not be the person that the Bulls like to go to because they got these other options, other weapons, but on a different team or even on this Bull team in a different capacity, he can get his shot. He can score and add something to the offensive game for you. And for Deuce, it's a little different, and that's kind of one of those things where you wish he was a little better at it so that the Knicks could really maximize on his potential. It's tough, man. I mean, it's great to see that he's out there and giving some minutes and helping on the defensive end, but you really wish he was a little bit more solid offensively so they could really get something more out of him, and that's not the case at the moment, at least. So I hear you. I can agree with that part. I definitely understand what you're saying and where you're coming from. The other thing is, I think that the Knicks need to figure out what are they going to do long term, because we already kind of touched on it a little bit with regards to the minutes and how people are playing. Like, the effectiveness is really coming down to two players. Like, Deuce has been really well. You want to throw three in there. Deuce has been playing really well and helping on the defensive end. Jericho Sims has been doing very exceptionally well, especially on his perimeter defense, helping out in situations. But Grimes has been the key. So what happens when you get to the point where Grimes gets too tired to really function the way he's been functioning, or God forbid, he starts to feel some nagging injuries creeping up because you're using him too much? Then what does the Knick team become? The Knick team becomes, a situation where they're playing like they played in Toronto, and it's a struggle. And you have a chance, but you can see that the Knick team wasn't moving the same without Grimes. So the Knicks have to figure out a way to combat that. Like, what are we going to do? And unfortunately, that may mean that they need to pick up another piece this year if they're trying to make the playoffs and they're going for that aspect of it, because you can't keep relying on these same 9 guys to play this type of minutes, and then your most important defensive player to play 40 plus minutes on certain occasions, when you know that you haven't really put him through this thing, like this gauntlet of time. Remember how we saw IQ in that first season as a Knick? He played really good, like exceptionally well for a rookie, and he was used a lot.
Yeah, I remember.
And then he hit the rookie wall. So hey, it happens, and Grimes hasn't hit the rookie wall yet. When you think about it, because he hasn't really had that much time to play with the Knicks. Now he's getting it, so we don't know. Maybe Grimes hits the rookie wall, even though he's not a rookie soon, or because he's playing a lot. So
Yeah,
we
he gets
gotta,
a sophomore slump.
yeah, we got to see what happens, man, because he's playing some good minutes. All right, so let me pull this up. So we just take a look at what actually took place here. For those who may not know, I think a lot of us already know, and our heart broke because of it. So here we go. All right. So once again, guys, if you weren't able to catch the game, and I know there was certain people who actually were kind of busy and couldn't, actually watch the game. Knicks lost to the Bulls in a heartbreaker, 118-117. Basically on a last second shot by DeMar DeRozan. And let me ask you, Delano, and I wonder how the chat feels about this. But when you knew that the Knicks were up 1 point and the Bulls had the ball, and you knew DeMar DeRozan was going to be the one to shoot the ball, how confident were you? Because I, at that point, was like, oh, no, I think this game is over. Because I think DeMar DeRozan is a sniper. So I was like, I don't like this. I don't care who's guarding him. You better put two on him and make somebody else beat you. That's my thought. I thought you got to get the ball out of his hands and make somebody else hit the shot. I'd be more comfortable with watching that go down than watching DeMar kill us again. What'd you think?
To be honest, I kind of had the 50-50 mentality. When the ball was in his hands, the first thing I thought was, well, he's definitely taking a shot. But I also, referenced again RJ's game last year when he did guard DeRozan on the final shot. DeRozan ends up airballing the shot. Now, whether that was a foul or not, that doesn't matter, because in the history books we came out with the win. But the way he played defense on DeMar, it was enough to affect this shot. So I actually thought that should have been kind of a replay on that RJ should have taken that he should have taken that assignment as opposed to Grimes on the switch. But again, it is what it is. I mean, you can live and die with DeMar DeRozan taking those shots, because at the end of the day, what I'm saying, again, it's still 50-50 ball. As good as he is from the perimeter, as clutch as he is, again, everything doesn't fall all the time. So I thought, again, if you just play good defense on them, make it difficult for him to shoot the shot, that would be enough. But I will say this too: the referees definitely botched up the lane violation, because after he shot that free throw, before the ball touched the rim, he was already in the paint. And according to the rules, that's a no-no. So that should have automatically been Nick Ball with, whether it was still the 4 seconds or 3 seconds left. So that is another thing to take under consideration as far as reviewing it goes.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. That is true. That is true. They definitely botched that. I don't know if it would have made much of a difference with 4 seconds left or what have you, 0.4. But yeah, they messed that up because it was a violation in some sort. I think maybe it's because of how the rules are set that the challenge was what it was, and so it's got to be strict to the challenge. It didn't make a lot of sense to me. Because if you see something and it is what it is, as you're reviewing stuff, you could see something else happen that the refs is supposed to catch. I don't know, but listen, man, the NBA, the way they do things, I don't know what they got going on over there.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of questionable stuff that goes on, and it's funny that it always happens with the Knicks, because that block that Mitch had on DeRozan that got called a foul. When the commentators are sitting there saying, I don't see the contact, this might be something that needs to be reviewed from the replay center. When you got guys saying that kind of stuff, it starts to look kind of funny. It starts to look kind of wonky. And you know what I mean? It's an unfortunate situation, but man alive, it's like, boy, I know these refs aren't perfect and they can't get everything right, but some of these things is just like, from me sitting on the couch and watching the game and seeing this unfold, it's like I can't I can't tell you what it's like in real time to ref a game, but I can definitely see that certain things should have been called, you know, saying specifically a certain way, and that block kind of, you know, that I think that was a catalyst to where I started saying, okay, yeah, this game might get out of hand, and we might end up losing this game. I think those are the moments when I started looking at it, and you know, the game started becoming in question.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree with you there. That makes a lot of sense because when certain things just don't seem to go your way, you're like, once again, here we go. Now, as a fan, we're like, oh man, come on. But as a player, they got to figure out a way to block that stuff out and just keep it going. And I'm glad that for the most part, I think the Knicks did a good job at staying focused and not letting the refs get too in their head with certain things that weren't happening because you could easily lose sight of what you got going on, and it could affect the outcome of how they play. And I think they did a good job because we've seen the Knicks get very frustrated in the past, Julius being the biggest culprit. And it really affects what they do it and it takes them out of the game and it could affect the outcome. But you know, they played outside of what happened with the free throws. They played well enough to win the game.
Yeah,
They,
they
in
did.
this case, beat themselves. That's what I would like to say.
Also, do you think that the problem is that Tibbs's offensive sets and schemes become kind of predictable, especially during those courses of the game? Because I mean, for three plays straight, he ran this exact same plays, and there's no switch up, right?
Hmm.
Now the Bulls did two of the same plays to effect, but then you saw, okay, well, we're not running the exact same play again. We're gonna switch it up to make things, you know what I'm saying, harder for the defenses to catch on to. And I'm wondering if that might have been one of those things that kind of propelled it too, because the dribble handoff, you know what I'm saying, when RJ becomes a playmaker and dishes the ball off to Randall on the right baseline. The first one was to, you know, a great effect because Patrick Williams closes out on him. He pump fakes, gets Patrick in the air, drives into the lane, gets an and one layup, right? So
Hmm.
great play, right? But you read it back again. This time, Patrick Williams stays on his feet. Randall takes a contested three. So now it's okay, let's switch it up. But instead of switching it up, you ran the exact same play again. And this time it became a bobble. And I think that was the shot where RJ ends up getting called for the offensive foul on that leaning jumper on DeRozan. So now it's like, okay, I'm catching on to everything you're doing. There's no switch up at that particular time where a different play could be ran, and again, you could make the defenses work a little bit harder. Now, again, whether the effect, you know, whether the results are the same or not is completely different. But if you give them an opportunity by running something different, then again, you might have greater effect. You know what I'm saying? Running something that they're not expecting. Maybe it's a play where, you know, Robinson gets involved, or, you know what I'm saying, you get Grimes an open shot. You know what I mean? Like, those are
Hmm.
the things that I'm looking at when it comes down to Tibbs. And like, while you're running these guys all those minutes, it would be great to see something different from the offensive sets as well.
Right. No, I mean it's true. And like, you know, the Knicks run a very vanilla type offense. There's certain plays that, you know, are not so cookie cutter. Like I think, you know, shout out to them, but I don't know how many people give Tibbs credit for this or whoever comes up with the plays. The Knicks got a nice set of out of timeout plays. Like some of their out of timeout plays are pretty damn good. And I'm like, oh, that was a good play. They've got like, weave plays that they do. And then while the weave is happening with the guys up at the perimeter, maybe Mitch is cutting back door for an easy lob. They've got some nice plays. They've got different plays that they run that allows for the Knicks to get off a quick shot from the perimeter. We've seen it happen last year. I can point directly to the net game where Fournier hit the game tying three. We still lost the game, but he hit the game tying three at close to the very end there. And we've seen them run good plays to get guys open in the past. Them out of timeout plays, pretty good. The actual overall offensive plays, very vanilla. And in some cases, sometimes you can only like run a play that that your personnel dictates. Like if the Knicks had more dynamic playmakers on the team, maybe they run different plays. Maybe you can do different things. Maybe the ability dictates that some of these guys can take a vanilla play that Tibbs comes up with and turn it into something special because of their ability. It's all of that stuff going into it. You never know what makes it what it is, because I'm sure that there's teams that run certain plays that aren't too sexy, but the plays are drawn out by somebody who's a playmaker, and he can just kind of see what's going. And maybe it's kind of like an audible, like a football player, a quarterback sees something at the line, the defense is playing a certain way, and then changes it up because he sees what he sees. Some of these guys might be dynamic enough to make those changes, and it just happens quickly. They don't run those type of plays, and it doesn't look like they have those type of players right now. So, but I hear you though. We definitely the offense is to the point where the defense knows what's coming.
Yeah,
100%, 100%. Shout out to Jigaman Porto. Happy and healthy holidays to you, man. How's everything? Hopefully you going great today, and everything's turning out the way you'd like it to be. Shout out to Jigaman, Phil Porto, my guy Heck from the Knicks Morning Brew and the Yankees Morning Brew on the Degen Sports Network. Shout out to them. Definitely go check them out. Great content, guys, if you haven't already. I see there's some new people that have been in the chat, so maybe you guys aren't aware, but Knicks Morning Brew, Yankees Morning Brew, dope shows on the Degen Sports Network. They come on Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. So definitely check them out. And sorry, guys, I had to go to subscriber mode. Usually I already have it on subscriber mode because I saw some paraphernalia in the chat that I had to get up out of there. You know what I mean? But when you have it on subscriber mode, they can't come in there because they gotta be subscribers for like 5 minutes. So that's why I usually have that up. So hopefully, guys, if you came in and you were in the chat, and then all of a sudden you couldn't comment anymore in the chat, yes, you do have to subscribe, but hopefully you feel good enough about the content that doesn't bother you. It just helps me because I like to keep the ads from jumping in and putting their spam up there. So thank you, guys. Ruben Nunez is in the building. Salute to you. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Happy and healthy holidays to you and yours. He said Grimes is too inconsistent. He's always hurt. You cannot rely on him. That's probably the case for the most part, but he's still young in terms of basketball, and we want to give the guy a shot, and we got to make it better for Grimes to be more efficient and more comfortable out there, so that way we can benefit from his talents. And hopefully the health bug is not a big issue for him. I mean, up until this point, as we haven't really noticed him having health issues until last year when he got hurt down the stretch. And then, he's kind of been really trying to work his way back this year. It took a little minute for him to get going. And then he had a couple nagging injuries. But the other day, remember, he had to sit out against Toronto, but he came back the next game against the Bulls. So maybe that's a good sign. Like, nothing too crazy lingering. Maybe it was a precautionary day. So whatever works. Yeah. So let me see here. Keyshawn is in the building. Salute to you. Happy holidays to you and yours, brother. Always a pleasure. Thank you for being here. Keith Turner is in the building. Salute to you, my guy. Happy, healthy holidays to you and your fam. Thank you. Mark Butler is here. Same. Happy, healthy holidays to you and yours. Let me see here. Pudge, nice. Day one in the building. Salute to you and yours. Happy, healthy holidays, my brother. Andrew K is in the building. Happy and healthy holidays to you and yours. Allah Wise, another day one. Man, they all coming out today. Salute to you and yours, Allah. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Yeah, that's a fact. And I know someone else mentioned that too. Yeah, that block on DeRozan, yeah, that was definitely a bad call. Knicks have a right to be upset about that. Shout out to you and yours, Max Cali. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Happy, healthy holidays to you and yours. Tibbs needs to figure out how to free Brunson now that teams figured out how to take him out the game. Now that's a fact, and that points to what DSJ was saying about our vanilla offense. When teams start to figure you out, you better figure out a way to combat that. It doesn't have to be a whole scheme change, just some wrinkle plays that you throw in there to kind of keep the defense honest. You know, you can still go back to your scheme because they're gonna have to be like, okay, well, they did something different, so now they're gonna run something different the next time around. No, maybe you can hit them with what you normally like to run, but you gotta have some plays to throw some wrinkles in there to get them off of that. And then what happens is the next time maybe they overcommit to thinking, okay, well might try to do this again, so let's keep this in mind and do, we might start doing this. Then a guy like Brunson, who is gifted in being able to break guys down, then he can attack a little better because you're not locked in. Shout out to my guy CC in the building. What's good? Happy, healthy holidays to you. Appreciate you, man. Oh man, and let's not forget JJ in the building. Happy and healthy holidays to my guy JJ. Salute. He said, Ron, the Mets have concerns with the Correa physical. Oh boy. Oh no. That's how it works, man. That's when you try to be slick and go get up out from under, another team making their little concerns happen. You're like, okay, you got an issue? Yeah, we'll swoop in and give them $315 million for 12 years. Oh, wait. Oh, now we see what you're talking about. It can only happen to the Mets. Well, hopefully they figure something out because Scott Boras is a vulture, bro. So you got to watch him. He tried to get that deal signed and dotted.
Yeah, he got a commission he got to collect on. So
yeah, man, you got to watch him. All right, so let's see what's going on here with this here Knick team. First off, the Bulls shot 42% for the field for DeMar DeRozan, 33 from 3, 85 from the free throw line. He had 25 points, 10 assists. First off, I got to tell you, even though I'm saying that the Knicks played well, they did, but you allowed DeRozan to get his 25 points. That's okay. DeRozan's a scorer, but allowing him to get 7 rebounds and 10 assists, DeRozan don't drop dimes like that. I don't know about that, folks. Like, I don't know. Vucevic had 21 and 12, shot 50% from the field, 3 of 7, 42% from 3. I mean, I'm not going to kill him over that. I mean, this is what Vucevic does, and when Vucevic is hot, this is what you can expect. It's an issue. Zach LaVine, though. Now, if there was a guy that the Knicks let get off, that he was doing what he wanted to do out there, it's Zach LaVine. 33 points, 12 of 22, 54%, 44% from 3. And, he had four rebounds and 3 assists. But if you guys remember the last game when the Knicks played the Bulls, either I don't forget who had what, but either Zach LaVine had 16 or 19, and DeRozan had 16 or 19. Like one of them had the other numbers. So and they missed a lot of shots. So the defensive effort was definitely a lot more stifling in that game. These guys were able to get it cooking in this one. So that would affect your outcome. So, as much as I think the Knicks played well, they could have played better. They weren't as big of a deterrent to the Bulls this time around. So And that's also a tough thing with playing a team 3 times in like a week and a half. It's almost like a playoff series. And you know how playoff series, they go back and forth because you see the team, so frequently that you can make adjustments. And they made an adjustment. But when you get to the Knicks, I mean, look at that stat line for RJ Barrett. And he shot better than I even thought. I thought he was like around 50%. This dude shot 70%. Jesus. 14 for
70%
20.
caught a body.
Jesus. RJ was getting it, man. 6 of
Perfect
6 from 3. 10 of 13 from the free throw line. Can't kill him on that. That's pretty good. You'd like to see that at least. 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and 44 points. And he had 2 or 3 dunks in this game. Definitely caught a body on Vooch. And have you guys noticed that throughout this scoring streak from RJ, at least the last 3 games especially, he's been aggressive to the rim, getting his dunk on? I've been complaining. These World of Hoops has been complaining. I know other content creators have been complaining. Where is the aggressiveness from guys like RJ and Obi? I need to see that. And RJ is getting super aggressive now. We got to see it, man. You can't be, if you're the type of guy that wants to enforce your will and use your strength to get to the lane and get to the holes and make these easy layups and then put the defense on their heels, what better way to do it than to show that you can get in there with authority, aggression? Either you get the hoop or you get the foul. That's how you got to do it, man. RJ's been playing great. Last night was the best of RJ. I'm not saying it's his best game because he might have had better games. I don't know, but this was a damn good game from RJ. Probably one of his best. So shout out to him. What'd you think about what you saw from RJ last night, bro?
I think that might have been his best game. I know the game where he dropped 40. He has a career high of 46 against Miami, but those free throws, what a difference! What a difference in charity.
He could have had 50 easy in that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So, to quote RJ Barrett, after this game, keep it rolling. I want to see more of that. I want to see that aggression. I definitely like the fact that he's taking those mid-range shots. I wanted to see more of that because again, it became the trifecta with RJ. I know 3 shots you're gonna take. It's a contested layup, whether that goes in or not. It's gonna be the push shot floater from the mid-range, and it's gonna be a 3-pointer. And I was like, okay, well, again, back to the same thing I talk about with Tibbs. If I know your offensive sets, at this point, it's just a matter of which one are you going to pull out the bag. You know what I'm saying? That's more the concern. But once you see him driving into the lane, it's usually stack defense. You know what I mean? You're going to get 2 guys basically contesting that lane. And what I like to see from him also was the playmaking. Again, back to those same plays I was talking about yesterday. He gets into the lane, drives, and he dishes off to Randall in the baseline. I like to see more of that, but I just want to see more of it from other aspects of the floor. You know what I mean? You're muted, Ron.
I could have swore it's funny. You hit the mute button and I could have swore I did that already. Thank you, brother. Yeah, I was going to say, I agree with you. Like, you definitely want to see him continue to do what he's doing and expand on his game. I don't know, man. RJ is he's this type of guy, guys. He's gonna be a roller coaster. It is what it is. You don't know. Like, now, I don't think we're gonna see what we saw from RJ earlier in the season. I don't think you're gonna see that level of bad play. Now, he might have a couple bad games here and there, but I don't think you're going to see that level of consistent bad play from him because I think he's got it together. Like, I don't know why he starts this way, but this is how he starts. He's like a baseball player. Like, if you watch baseball, there's certain guys that struggle in the wintertime, but when the summer hits or spring going into summer and that warm weather really starts to really kick in, they go off. So he's one of them guys, man. I don't know what to say. At least he's not a second half player. At least we don't have to wait till after the All-Star break. It comes along quicker than that.
Oh my God. Can you imagine having to deal with that, with the contract that already gets complained about now?
Crazy. That would be nuts. Let me get my guy in here. Wiz, what's good? Happy holidays, brother.
Happy holidays to all of you, man. Happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, happy Ramadan, all the good stuff.
Yes.
Yeah,
Salute Wiz, or should I say
salute.
Wagwan?
You know what I mean?
Boy, right on, go boom.
Happy Festivus too.
Exactly for the rest of us. Oh man, I wasn't too mad at last night too much about with the players. Definitely not Grimes missing the shots. My freshman year, I was on varsity. They pulled me for varsity. My first 2 foul shots were air balls. I mean free throws. The first shots I took for the game were free throws and they were air balls. So on that level alone, even I felt the pressure. And I know I was an ex-Marine at the time as well. So I'm thinking, how am I gonna be scared in a basketball game and get all nervous, man? So Grimes, not too much. JB, Jalen Brunson, tough misses for him, but I don't know what the factors were. Again, I think that he's not completely healthy. Personally, I think he had a lot of bumps, and of course, the minutes I think is a factor. So everything comes back to my man Tibbs. By the way, yesterday I was on D's show. I was saying it for like you've been saying it. RJ should always go in strong. I don't care. I'd rather you bounce the ball off the backboard and it misses and bounces all the way at the half court, but going hard, those little soft drives and hoping to get fouled and then complain and trying kind of missing and fading away from the basket is not the kind of game he should be playing. He should go in strong every time. So I said it yesterday. Please go in hard. That's all I want to see RJ keep doing. Go in hard. Go for the dunk. Yes, he's been playing below the rim. Play above the rim, RJ. At least at the rim, but get up there a little bit and try. Except don't try to dunk when you try to dunk from on the sideline, 6 feet away, and try to dunk over a 7-footer. If you can't get to the rim, maybe you don't go for the slam, but go strong. This more I mentioned to Queen about about adjustments for Brunson and Mitch. I didn't mean adjustments by rotations or substitutions. You said exactly the nail on the head when it said Brunson can slightly different scheme with Brunson coming up. I mean, I'm talking about like even spread the floor where everybody goes out wide, and when he gets the ball, he just rushes straight to the basket. Something different, some wrinkle that will keep those guys on their toes, because obviously there is a formula right now that looks to be working to stop him. So you can't run those vanilla offense. You can't just have him go back and try to do his moves to get free, because obviously it's not working. And again, he may be a little bit, banged up, but he's definitely off his game. And which means that what you got to do is maybe get the ball out of his hands. Maybe he drops his number of shots down to 10 instead of 14 or 15. And maybe he sits for a little bit. I'm not going to say to sit Bronson because he's too important, but maybe not 40 minutes, maybe 35 minutes, even in a tight game. Mitch, I don't know what happened last night. Again, I think part of Mitch's issue also is no plays a run for him. I mean, he had 2 points for the first 3 quarters. Did he end up with 2 points? He may have. But Mitch should have a couple of attempted alley-oops, even if you miss it. Just let him feel like he's part of the offense, keep him fully engaged, and maybe could have sparked something. Because something was off in Mitch yesterday. I mean, I was ready to throw in even iHeart, but ideally Sims. But overall, a little bit worried about tomorrow. Philadelphia is hot. So right now, that's the game I'm focused on. I think yesterday's a learning experience, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do tomorrow, because Joel and Harden, man, and not to mention even Maxey, those two are bad boys, and when we make mistakes like we did yesterday, they will make us pay for that. So that's what I wanted to start off with, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you, Wiz. Thank you for joining, and hopefully you and yours are doing great on this holiday weekend. Yeah, I agree. I think that's what's going on. It definitely is there's everything you said is what took place and stuff that the Knicks need to look at. And they definitely need to work on, as DSJ was saying, like our offense, they need to work on some wrinkles, some plays as well to open things up and keep things fresh. The good thing is the Knicks are in a position where they've played to a point where they got an 8-game win streak with what they normally do. And so you can kind of bring things along slowly. Let's work on, 2 plays in practice. Let's really get them down. Right. And then we'll introduce those 2 plays. Then next game, next practice, whatever. Let's work on another play or another 2 plays and see if we can kind of bring these into the fold. You can do things little by little and just try to incorporate certain things that might help open things up. And I hope that they're doing that. I don't know, but I hope they're doing stuff like that, especially now with what we've saw. This is the point where, I get mad at Tibbs and his adjustments in game. So outside of the game in practice is when I feel like he has a chance to really do some stuff. So I don't know how much practice time they're getting these days. They've been playing a lot of games in a short amount of time. But hopefully they have an idea of something. Maybe there was something they worked on before that they just don't use too often. It's not a part. I'm sure Tibbs got more plays that he doesn't always go to. He goes to his regulars, right? But now that he can see what Toronto did against Brunson and what Chicago did against Brunson, and also what Chicago did the last game, even though we won. Not the first. It was not the last game. It was the first game with the Bulls where Caruso was a big factor. Like stuff like that. Keep that in your back pocket and say, okay, another team could do the same thing with him, especially if we want to put, Julius at the high post. Like, just keep in mind all that stuff and make adjustments. That's what I would love to see. And I think Tibbs can do that stuff. Will he? I don't know, but I think he can. So,
exactly. On the Rosen drive, as far as that play, we had a chance to substitute, right? We had a chance to switch our players, right? Didn't we? That was following. We went to 117, and go ahead.
I don't know if we could have, because I think we had one timeout left, and knowing that the Bulls have to come down and score, that time is wasting, and you might need that one timeout to advance the ball. So I don't think we could have made a substitution at that point. I think we had to kind of play it out.
But yeah, my concern is always the offense-defense switches where Brunson should not be in the game for defense at the end of the game.
I see what you're saying.
I wanted even Sims to be in there, Deuce to be in there, even IQ. But that was my concern about that last play where we had, again, doubling DeRozan. I'm worried about Levine being free. But I'd rather Levine beat us than DeRozan beating us, because
but it didn't
again.
It didn't really matter at that point, Wiz, because you see DeRozan scored on Grimes.
Right. But that was after a switch. There was a switch that happened. And so I don't know if there was but the switch was it RJ's player? Was RJ switched off on him? But
RJ
to a certain extent. So then the double would have been someone like a Sims who's fast enough to like run away from his player. So I was trying to think, how could we have doubled DeRozan and yet still keep a body on Levine that could really defend Levine, so he doesn't get go off for anybody else. So my thought is about how Tibbs thinks and how, again, his in-game adjustments I think is lacking. I think his post-game and the time between that first and last game last week is exactly what Tibbs needs. He needs a little time to get out of his own head, out of his own way. Then he comes with some really sometimes brilliant scheme. And maybe I'm thinking in my opinion, I think Rick Brunson and Johnny, I think they're in his ear now, and he's finally listened to his assistants and making some adjustments. But his panic button goes back to what he normally does: run guys into the ground and vanilla offense, and no rotations right away necessarily or adjustments. I just think that's Tibbs' default is almost like a maybe a kind of a lack of motion where that freeze, that like hesitation, like they're in a headlight, like, oh man, what's happening? And then he doesn't quite get a chance to react. Or maybe he's overthinking it because he watches so much tape. As you know, he watches the games 4 or 5 times. And so you guys should also watch it more than once. He keeps telling us, right? So he probably overthinks it. And it's that, that over-analysis, analysis paralysis, where he just overanalyzing and he can make a move. So that's one of my concerns with him. But the other thing is, I really think Kuzma is easy to get, man. He's cheap, and I think the move should be sooner than later. If Cam and Fournier are going to be left on the bench, I think we should make that move sooner than later and not have guys just. I mean, I don't know what the chemistry is like. I don't know what they're saying, and I don't think Kuzma should necessarily start when he comes here. I don't think he should start at all. He's a $13 million a year player. He's coming in with an established starting five. Bring him in. He plays on the bench, and he knows he got to earn his keep because his contract is not going to renew his $13 million. So it's actually up to him to be the best teammate and max out when he gets a chance to play. So Kuzma off that bench yesterday, or even Wednesday, would have been a huge difference from what we did. I think would have been excellent, and it would have taken a few minutes for Randall to get a little bit of rest. He could play 3-4, potentially even a small 5 sometimes on offense. So I really like Kuzma, man. That's who I really want.
Yeah. I hear you. I don't know what we'd have to. Well, I don't know. I don't know what we'd have to give up for Kuzma because they ain't not giving Kuzma. Like none of these guys are going to be able to be gotten on the cheap. Like we were talking about it last night on MBK. OG Anunoby would be great, but expensive. Exactly. I mean, OG might be more expensive than Kuzma.
Oh no, he's right because he's not expiring. Kuzma's expiring, and he said he won't redo his player option.
Right.
So they actually could lose it for nothing. So they're feeling more threatened, and they're failing as well. So they're losing, and they could get back their pick from us. Washington as we have their pick.
That's true.
And he's not, so expiring, they're losing, and we have their pick. So I think there's more reasons for us and ways for us to get Kuzma than for us to get OG. And I wouldn't pay that high price for OG right now the way it sounds like they're trying to ask. Yeah, I heard yesterday's show. You guys are amazing, of course. You guys you brought some knowledge. You always drop the knowledge. Like I said, you drop the knowledge so we can know the ledge. So
appreciate you, my brother.
Yeah, man. I wanted to wish everybody again happy holidays. I'm about to jet and everything, but again, stay safe out there. Wiz, as always, is a pleasure. Ron, what I'm saying, it was great chatting up with you.
Leave. Predict tomorrow for us so we can hear you. Yeah, predict tomorrow so I can hold it to it. Get some receipts on you. What's tomorrow's game before you leave?
I don't know. I mean, we after this loss, I think we're gonna have a chip on our shoulder. So we're gonna come out with a lot of aggression. I just hope that aggression doesn't lead to a lot of fouls, trying to overcommit to guys, and I think that might be the catalyst to where, again, Philly might come out with a hard start, and that might be the difference right there. Something like trying to be over aggressive. And then, that leading to a lot of foul calls. Again, and we're temperamental too. So we're the type of team that those foul calls will catch up, and then next thing you know, a foul call leads to a technical or something like that, whether it's from a player or from Tibbs himself. So right now, my biggest hope is that we can at least keep the game close. And if we're able to keep it close, then I believe we got a shot. I think we can come out with that win, and it'll be a great surprise, especially considering how we did last year when we played Atlanta, and Kemba with the triple-double type of game. I'm hoping that we can have that same kind of effect if we're able to at least have a good game from these guys.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Okay.
But happy holidays again to everybody.
Thank you, DSJ, man. Happy holidays to you and yours, brother. Enjoy, man.
All right, take care.
Yeah, definitely, man. No, Wiz. Hey, listen, man. Always welcome, brother.
It's the Wiz show. I'll be like,
there you go. You good. Shout out to the chat once again. Akuma is in the building. Salute to you, my brother. Appreciate you. He says, and happy holidays to you and yours. He says, as long as the next man makes a shot, it counts. Got to trust your teammates. Rodman had 20 assists one time. He wasn't known for dropping dimes. That's true. That's a good point. That's a good point. and Andrew said earlier, DeMar DeRozan has ice in his veins. He does, man. He does.
Yeah.
DeMar would be nice on this Knicks team, but we'll never get him. That price tag would be crazy.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ron Sarmiento in the building. Salute, salute, salute. Happy holidays to you and yours, brother. Appreciate you. Hopefully you're doing well. Shout out to Kevin Middleton. Happy holidays to you and yours. He said Brunson just lost his all-star chances. I don't want to say that necessarily. I mean, the timing is really bad because the voting is happening now. But listen, who's to say that Brunson doesn't go into tomorrow's game and drop 30 and then hits the game-winning shot to beat the 76ers? And then he's right back in the golden graces. You know what I mean? You never know. Anything can happen at the drop of a dime. And on Christmas Day, national TV, everybody watching, you never know what could happen. So I don't want to write him off yet, but I hear you. It doesn't look great at the time when people are voting. You want to continue to stay as relevant as possible, even if you're not the guy to be clutch at certain points in the game. You want to be able to do the what is expected as far as hitting your free throws. It was a tough one. Ala Wise said Grimes looked scared to death at the line last night, but I just knew Brunson was good for both. I know, bro.
No.
I know. I couldn't believe the dude shoots 89% from the free throw line. Come on.
Oh man, that hurts. Yeah, I felt so bad for him.
It was tough, man.
And you saw what's his name was talking trash to him as well. So the combination, did you see that?
Yeah, the combination of DeRozan spitting in his ear. Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah, I'm like, he's probably like, yeah, whatever. I got this. And maybe I don't know, whatever. So that made it seem like he got thrown off by that, but I don't know what it is, Ray. Because they weren't even close misses either. They were like, bang, like actually the first one was off to the right, and a little bit short. And I'm like, whoa! At least, I'm targeting to go a little deep, a little long, and it hits the back of the rim. Okay, then you adjust a little bit shorter, but he was off target. I'm like, oh man, what's happening to JB? That's a little worse. So I feel bad, man. But I'm gonna still vote for him. I mean, he's still my starting point. At least my backup point guard for that stuff in the East. Because Halliburton, Kyrie, Trey. Oh man.
Well, two things I see here. First off, Craig, we at home. He said, if we at home, we losing. Yeah, well, we at home. So I hope we don't lose. But yeah, tomorrow's game is at home. So that's going to be interesting. Max Callie said, Kuzma is a taller Evan Fournier at bet. No way, bro.
Oh, my
no
goodness.
way. Kuzma plays defense, man. Kuzma plays defense. And Kuzma is, with his height, he's got more versatility than what Evan Fournier can bring, and he's a better finisher around the rim. That's just the skinny on him. Like, he's just a better finisher around the rim. So you can't say that. I mean, look at look at what Kyle Kuzma has done in the past 5 games. I'm just gonna spit out the last 5 games. Okay, so against the Clippers, he has 17, 6, and 2. All right, very pedestrian type game. You could say that Evan Fournier could do that, right? Against the Lakers, he had 22, 16 rebounds, 2 assists. Against the Suns, he had 29, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Against the Jazz, he had 21, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Against the Kings, he had 32 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. And mind you, throughout all of this, he's playing good defense. He's got 2 steals here, 1 steal, 2 steals, 1 steal, 1 steal. Like, he's a good player. He's a solid player. And he's 6'9".
Mm-hmm.
You can
and
use that.
And
he's more athletic. Yeah. That's a given. Yeah, that's a fact.
That's a huge,
I wouldn't put Kyle Kuzma in the Evan Fournier box. Not to take anything away from Evan, but we know Evan's down, like his liabilities, whatever they may be. We know defense is not a strong suit, even though sometimes he can play adequate. It's only spurts. Kyle Kuzma is a better defender, and that height, Fournier is 6'7", Kuzma's 6'9". It's a difference. So
and
yeah,
Kuzma
man,
plays big. Fournier actually plays smaller than his height. Because
Right.
I'm Grimes and Fournier play the same height to me, and Fournier got him by 2 or 3 inches.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah.
And for the regular season, just want to throw that out there. Kyle Kuzma is averaging 21.8 points, 46% shooting from the field. 46% shooting from the field. There's not a lot of guys on this Knicks team that shoot 46% from the field. 34% from three. There's not a lot of guys on this Knicks team that shoot 34% from three. He's averaging 7.6 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and half a steal a game, half a block a game. So yeah, Kuzma would be an upgrade. So I would say that he's better than Fournier, bro. And Victor Rivera is in the building. He said, "Merry Christmas, brother. It's all good. Still got a lot of basketball left to play. Redemption is coming tomorrow. God bless everyone in the chat and enjoy the holidays." Same to you and yours, Victor. Happy holidays to everybody on your end. Enjoy it, brother. So before I run down the rest of these Knicks stats real quick, I wanted to put up a little RJ video. Now I might have to chop it in half because it's a little longer than some of these videos in the past that I've seen. And I know how YouTube be, and you know, the NBA is probably still going to hit me with a copyright. I'll get it removed. Don't worry, guys. I'm okay. As long as they don't try to get funky and take down the show. The other day, I was showing a video that I've shown videos all the time, and they actually blacked out the show for 10 seconds. You can't be doing that stuff, man. Come on, YouTube. Get it together. Anyway, so that being said, let me do this. Let me drop this down and then hit you with this. Oh, so as we can see, you see it, Mr. 44 points themselves. Look at RJ getting to the rim with the left, showing you a little something, letting you know, hey, man, I could do this all day.
Yeah.
So it's really good to see him. Then this is when I knew RJ was cooking. I was like, okay, hold on. Don't mind me. I had to take something off there. Make sure we were good. Okay, I think we're good now. All right, I got to do it again. Here we go. So there's the layup, and then we should be at the that's just my failure to clip that. I would have clipped this out, guys, but I was rushing. This was right before the show started, so don't mind me, guys. Anyway, so there's RJ in the corner for three, and it was like wet. I mean, it hit a little rim, but you know, when I see him shoot that way, I'm feeling really good about his shot.
6 for 6 from 3. I mean, wow.
Nice form, splash mountain right there. Then we get RJ coming over here, cutting to the basket. Nice little floater game. He's improved on his floater game this year. I would think it's getting a little better. Look at this. Actually playing up on RJ, giving him the body, really making it tough for him. And look, RJ with the fall away. Now, when you see stuff like this, guys, you got to feel really good about RJ's game because he don't really excel in that point. RJ from three again, wet. See the splash on the net? That's a good sign, guys. You look at that and you can see how a guy's shooting. Some sizing up right to the rim, taking it with the left on the right-hand side this time. For those who say he always goes left, look at that. Zach LaVine was like, what am I going to do? I can't do nothing. And he fouled him. Beautiful. Look at this. We got a little transition action. RJ coming down the lane. You going to make it this easy? I'll take it. Nice little dunk. Nothing wrong with that. He'll take that every day of the week. And you know what? Let me stop it right here real quick. And let me just drop that down. Try to get slick with YouTube, you know, because they be wilding out. They see something on the screen too long that already they're trying to hit people with copyrights. Calm down, YouTube. It's the holidays, man. It's Christmas Eve. Hope y'all doing well out there. Let me see. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody who might have joined in the last couple seconds. No, I think I got everybody. Shout out to everybody, man. Appreciate y'all for rocking with me this afternoon on Christmas Eve. Thank you, guys. Happy Saturday to y'all. Wishing you all the best. All right, so let's bring this back up. All right. RJ from three from the other corner. Nice. Nice. Look, he's looking at the bench. Yeah, you know I'm cooking. You see it. He feels it. Yeah, I'm cooking today, folks. You got to love it because you know they chirp and tell him, you suck, miss. Right back out to RJ again. That one didn't go in as well as the other ones, but the point is it went in, so you know he's feeling it. Pass down to Randall, kick out to RJ again for 3. Bang! Now that's the splash we like to see. That's the cooking splash right there. Here we go. Another play back out to RJ. Oh, I might fake you. Oh, look at this. Watch yourself, Vooch. You don't want it. Oh, Vooch immediately. Yo, review that. I did not foul him. Oh, that was a horrible accent. I'll never do that again. There we go. Boom. Again. RJ, you see it? I love this aggressiveness from RJ. This is what we've been waiting for. Look at the scowl. Look at the face. Come on, man. This is when he could point to his hand and say, I am him. Now look at this. Look at this. In the grill. Oh no. RJ splash waterfalls, folks. That is telling you everything you need to know about how RJ was cooking in this game. 6 for 6 from 3. Look at this. Another fall away jump. Boom. That's it, guys. That's it. That's letting you know. You can't guard me. I'm him today. Look at this. Oh, man. And then he's letting everybody know. If you guys can read lips, you see what he said. That's right. You seen it. RJ Barrett was on one today, folks. Shout out to him for doing what he does. He definitely made it look good, made it look easy. Unfortunately, the Knicks lost the game, but it's not for lack of trying, lack of effort. It just didn't convert down the stretch, and they missed some big free throws. It's a sad one because RJ deserved better the way he played, but it is what it is. No. Let me address Keith. Keith.
Oh man,
listen.
please do.
Look, Keith, this is the thing, man. You guys got to understand. RJ has been very disappointing for a lot of the season, but I knew that RJ was going to get back to doing good things for this Knicks team because he's done it in the past. We've seen it for 3 years now. It's not like you're going to say that RJ is going to stink the whole season. RJ is going to show you that he can play in the league and give you good games. He just has to get back to playing solid, smart basketball. My biggest issue with RJ, once again, you could say it's the inconsistency. That's fine. 100%. I get it. My biggest issue was the passing. I felt like he was being too selfish with the ball, not looking for his teammates, not trusting them. His play, his decision-making, not making the right shots, not making the good passes, turning the ball over frequently. And even in this game, he had 6 turnovers. But you can live with the 6 turnovers because you know he had the ball in his hands so much and he was so active. He was trying to make plays. It did not affect his shooting. Imagine having 6 turnovers and shooting 6 for 6 from 3, 10 of 13 from the free throw line, and shooting 70% from the field for the game. Nobody's going to be mad at that. You take that. That's okay. That's the only time it looks good, when you got the other numbers backing you up. So I can't be mad at him. Let's look at what RJ's been doing. And I won't even give you a 5-game stretch. Let me see here.
And by the way, the only reason why RJ had the turnovers was because of Brunson had to give the ball up because of the pressure.
The defense that they were putting on him. Yes, the ball was coming out of Brunson's hands quicker than it normally would because of how the Bulls were playing defense. That's a good point, Wiz. Very true. We know how bad RJ's been for most of the season, right? Let's look at RJ's last 8 games, guys. Last 8 games. There's one in there that's a little, but that's okay. He still shot very efficiently from the field for that game, even if he struggled from 3. Against the Hornets, he had 26 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Against the Kings, 27 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals. Against the Bulls, 22 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. Against the Bulls again, 27 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Against the Pacers, 24 points, 4 rebounds. Against the Warriors, and we beat the Warriors by a big margin. He had 18 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists. He shot 8 of 19 from the field, so he still shot fairly well. Against the Raptors, he had 30 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal. And against the Bulls, 44 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. RJ's been playing good for the last 8 games. So it's not like it's one good game. He's been playing good the last 8 games. I mean, this is RJ. This is what he does. It's just that when he's not playing well, it's fair. You got to, if you're not playing well and it's consistent, you get on a guy. If a guy has one bad game, you don't rip him. If a guy has one good game, you don't praise him too much. But when they start to have good games consistently, you praise them. They start to have bad games consistently, you rip them. That's how it is. I don't look at one game over the other. It's when you do it consistently for multiple games, I start to say, hey, what's going on? I think that's fair. But I hear you, Keith. But I just think, like, at this point, you just got to start looking at RJ as what you thought he was prior to this season. Like, this is RJ being RJ. This is who you expect from him. He's not going to be the greatest player every night, but he might have a night where he does surprise. I think last night he was the best player on the court.
Yep.
But
I mean, I think the issue with RJ, especially guys like Keith, is that he's not spectacular all the time. He has all the basics, all the fundamentals. I mean, my critique once with Uncle Fulia, for example, was RJ's floor and ceiling are very close, but his floor was so high that I'm so solid enough that I want him to be. He's an NBA pro, he's an NBA starter, because he has all of the tools. That's nothing spectacular enough where you're looking for, John Moran type play. So he will keep on improving all the skills he has. So he's going to start going right more. He's going to get more guts to the basket and finishing off better. He's going to improve his foul shooting like he did. He's almost back to 90% early in the season. Even when it's off on his shooting, his 3-pointer is going to get improved. He's going to improve his passing because his assist the past few games were up. So he's just constantly going to keep improving until all of a sudden you realize this guy has everything we need and everything you want for a basketball player. And yes, maybe he has some defensive lapses, but again, that's a skill he can improve by, repetition and aggression and start to stay more focused. So there's nothing RJ has. Obviously, when the dunk shows he has some athleticism. He's not the fastest guy in the world, but he's not slow-footed either. Yes, early in the season he was playing a little slow, but you can see he has enough to accelerate. And I think maybe to a certain extent, Grimes, actually, who plays very quickly, gets the ball and reacts very quickly, maybe influencing that with Brunson. Helping RJ and Randall think quicker, pass quicker, move quicker. So there's nothing to really critique about RJ. And the salary is very accurate based on what he has and what he's potentially able to do in the future. So I'm not an RJ love, I'm not an RJ hive, but I can't see any reason to really complain about RJ or Randall, like you said. They're valuable assets. And if we could find someone better, of course, you make a deal for anybody. No one's untouchable. But I like RJ's game, and I think yesterday showed a side of his game that so few players really have. It was a complete game that has very few flaws, and the number of usage he had with the ball because of Brunson caused a few more turnovers. If that's all you got to fix, adjust down by 2 turnovers for the game to make it a flawless game. That's not a lot to ask of a player like that. So Keith is something else.
I hear you, Keith. But look, I will say this. First off, this plus or minus is garbage. I don't look at this. This is not the real plus or minus that you look for, when you're trying to judge and evaluate the talent on your team. The real plus or minus is when you go to Basketball Reference and you look at the player plus or minus, it's different. It's evaluated differently. Like, this plus or minus is just how the team played on the court when RJ was actually on the court, but RJ doesn't have control if Vucevic is killing Mitch or killing someone else. RJ doesn't have control if Zach LaVine is cutting up Grimes or somebody else. You can't fault RJ for his plus or minus being a -1 when the guy shot 70% from the field, 100% from 3, 76% from the free throw line. He was cooking. RJ gave them a shot to win this game, and they could have won the game, and they should have won the game. So that's why this plus and minus thing is kind of really, it's a funky stat. And I don't look at this the way it should, because this is more like a team plus or minus, and just showing you how it breaks down per player. This is not a player individual plus or minus. If you go to Basketball Reference or look at any of these sites, you can see the difference. And maybe one day I'll pull that up again. I did it in the past, but I haven't done it in a while. But yeah, it's a difference. So, but I hear
DeMar
what you're
was
saying,
only
Keith.
+2, by the way. DeMar was only +2. He was 1 of 3 from 3. He was 9 of 21 from the field. He had 5 turnovers, 5 personal fouls rather. Yes, his assist is up there. But other than that, would he have critiqued DeMar if he was a Chicago fan, being like, "Oh man, only +2," or you're 1 of 3 from your 30% from 3-point line, or 45% from 2, when RJ was 70, 100%. I mean, it's amazing how he looks at certain stats or look at certain players. It's that it's not objective, please. I don't think it's objective. I think
I see where he's coming from, Wiz, but I just don't think that that's fair to RJ, because that's not who RJ is. When we drafted RJ Barrett, when you look at his game, knowing the type of things that he's dealing with, he's not overly athletic. He doesn't have very fast feet. He's kind of slow-footed. And he's not the greatest defender, right? Automatically, you say RJ Barrett is not a superstar. And to some extent, you could say, will RJ ever be a star? No, a lot of us have been talking about this for years. We don't even think RJ is a star. Now, could he be an all-star? Yes, and yes, you can be an all-star and not be a star. It's true, you can be, because an all-star shows that you have played well enough at certain points to make the all-star team because of your numbers, how they look. But stars have a little extra quality, right? They have an extra quality that allows them to really affect the rest of their teammates better, right? Superstars have that extra quality that allows them to win games by themselves. Like if you keep the game close and you give the superstar the ball, he can take over the game and bring it home. That's how I look at it. I mean, I could be wrong. That's my feeling about it. Stars are the ones that make, not only are they doing well, but they make the rest of their team better. Superstars can win games. If you keep the game close, they can win games by themselves, basically. So that's how I look at it. And I think that even though RJ played great last night, it was fantastic. Does that mean that I feel like he made the rest of his team better? Not necessarily. I just think that they were able to depend on him because he was scoring and looked great. But a star is the type that he's a facilitator. He can get guys open. He commands the double team. Now you're open. You get a free shot. You're open. Oh, I'm going to the lane. They're trying to double. You cut into the basket. Here, take that. Nice little layup for him. Like stars are that type. RJ's not that type to me. So I hear you, Keith, but I just think like you can't look at RJ like he's a star. Can RJ win a championship? Yeah, I think RJ can win a championship. Not by himself, not with this Knicks team, not depending on him like that. But if you put the right pieces around him on this team, they could. Or if you traded RJ to another team that has pieces already, he might be a big factor of that team, and they can win a championship adding him as a piece because they already have a good team that can do it, but they're just missing something. RJ might be the missing piece. I feel the same way about Julius Randle. You put Julius Randle on the right team that needs a guy like Phoenix, maybe Julius Randle is the type of guy that takes Phoenix over the hump. Phoenix is a good team. They're just having some issues right now, but maybe Julius gives them what they've been missing. So, it's just I hear you. I'm just saying, like, I just don't look at RJ in that same way. I know teams, I should say, I know Knicks fans look at our players, and especially the ones that we're paying $100 million, and how they play, and like, you expect them to be a star or a superstar, but they're not. I don't think they are.
Well, I think Philly and Phoenix and maybe the Lakers, both RJ or Randall on those teams, take him one step further. Because I mean, if RJ had Harden, Maxey, and then Embiid around him, oh man, he would eat for days. Randall too. I mean, like when they're on Celtics, like Harden is, and you can tell, Maxey also has that ability to actually play off and be like, okay, feed you an Embiid all day. Oh man, they would crush, and it'd be tough to beat them. I'm not quite sure who could beat Philadelphia if they had Randall added to that threesome, or even RJ. Because, man, I mean, I don't know. Is it possible that Boston could compete against them? That would be a tough matchup for me, for anyone actually to try to face those four, at least in the East. Yeah. So So no one
I
dismisses
hear you.
Randall's ability. Keith loves Randall, and yes, I understand why. And I think but the thing is, no one disrespects Randall at all regarding skills. People talk about his fit, but he somehow is downplaying RJ as if he's not an NBA starter or ball player that can really contribute.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I get it. I hear he's not happy with the way RJ is playing, and he expects more from him, and he doesn't think he's the answer, which I can understand. He may not be the answer long term for this Knicks team. Right now, he's one of the best we got. And I do believe this is the same thing I said before. If the Knicks make certain changes, you will see some of these guys get better. I feel like right now you're going to see a little bit better level of consistency with RJ and Julius because Jalen Brunson is here. I mean, right now, look, we're pointing to Jalen like, oh, he's not clutch and he's not this because he had a bad game yesterday. He didn't come through, but Julius looked great and RJ looked great, didn't they? Because now Jalen can take the brunt of everything. And plus, his focus, remember that the Bulls tried to take Jalen out of the game, which means they weren't focused on taking Julius or RJ out. So RJ and Julius got to eat. So that's why, Jalen Brunson being here helps them. Same thing on the defensive end. Grimes guarding the best player allows, Julius and RJ to be able to guard lesser players. Not that they're not NBA players and can't score, but they don't have to worry about that. They can focus differently. That's a help to them. So I'm saying if you bring in the right guys, if we had brought in like a Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, I don't know. I'm just throwing names out. You bring in those type of guys, then certain guys on the team are going to get better because they don't have all the pressure on them and they're not responsible for everything. Because obviously we can see that they're not those type of guys. And I hear you. Shout out to Finesseful J. He said, get the Knicks one top 10 player and we are a title contender. I mean, that's possibly true that the Knicks could be a title contender. That doesn't mean they'll win a title, but because there's teams out there that are perennial title contenders like the 76ers and Phoenix, and we haven't seen them win yet, but they will always be around. So I hear you. I'm with you on that.
I can't leave you
One thing was what Sherwin said, RJ is not that far from being a star. He just has to become a team first player, which goes to my point. Remember what I said? I feel like a superstar is a guy that when the game is close or within reach, superstar can take over and give you a chance to win it. He might win it by himself. A star is the guy that makes the rest of the team better, facilitating, playing off of what he's doing out there and getting the ball to his teammates and getting them good looks because he's commanding the defense and the respect. RJ hasn't shown that he can really do that yet. This year especially, he's actually regressed. I think he's been a little bit more selfish than I'd like. So hopefully he continues to do that and learn from that. And if he starts doing that, then Sherwin, I think we're on the same page. I agree. Then he can probably be a star if the other stuff continues and he adds that to his game. So, yeah, what were we going to say, Wiz?
Keith threw out Ben Mathurin and saying Ben is a rookie and he's playing better than RJ. So how many people in 1984 went, that Michael Jordan is a rookie? Should everybody consider their guys on their team when a guy like that comes in the league? Ben Mathurin is obviously a different level of player. Athletically, skill set wise, yes. You're a little bit more mature. Actually, how old is Ben? Ben is probably also 20, 21, right? So almost the same age. But yes, because RJ's been in the league longer, Keith, and because he was number 3 pick, Keith is expecting him to be a Ben Mathurin level or higher than Ben Mathurin. But
Ben Mathurin's 20.
Right, so it's 1 year younger. But also
2 years, actually. RJ's 22.
Okay. But about Randall and what's his name in Orlando, right? You're gonna say, oh, a rookie's doing what, putting up numbers. Randall, full stop. You can say the same thing. It doesn't compare. You can't compare teams like that or players like that because one player is doing well on his team and is also a really gifted ball player to then downplay someone else's skill set. So that's a terrible comparison to bring Matthew's name in there. Because again, when Jordan entered the league, everybody else at his position would look like amateurs, almost. You know, his rookie year, Jordan was what, like 30, 30, like 6-5 or something his rookie year. So that's just awful to bring in Mathurin's name because Ben is the one guy I wanted. I think you wanted him too, right, Mathurin, to be drafted?
I did. I wanted Ben Mathurin.
Man.
Yes,
that was my number one draft, and so come on, you can't throw his name out there. It's crazy. Might as well throw John's name. I said, "Oh, John Morant is doing great." I'm like, "Yeah, John."
I mean,
of nature.
But like I said, going back to what Keith said, I understand where Keith is coming from. Keith wants this Knicks team to improve, and he wants us to get better players, more dynamic players that we can build from and win with. That doesn't mean you have to do it as a result of giving up RJ. You might be able to do that and have RJ still here. So it's not like RJ, you can't win with RJ. You just have to figure out a way to bring those players here, and you might be able to do that through the draft. This is a very talented draft again, and so depending on where the Knicks pick, they might have multiple picks still, and they might have a good shot to draft some good players who are dynamic. So, it doesn't mean we can't get certain guys. We might be able to get a Mathurin in this draft ourselves if we're lucky. And if the Knicks do the right job in scouting to figure out who they can bring in. It's not a lost cause, Keith. That's all I'm trying to say. And I agree with you. There is a lot of potential in Mathurin because he does have abilities that RJ doesn't possess. In the end, we don't know what both of these players will be as far as the length of their careers and who they become. RJ, I always felt that by year 3 or 4, especially 4, I thought RJ was going to turn it up a notch and be averaging around 22, 23 points per game and really solidify himself. Now, granted, I was saying that prior to us getting Jalen Brunson, because Jalen Brunson is now someone who's going to command the ball. If it was just Julius and RJ here, then I think RJ would be putting up numbers like that because he'd have to be used a lot more. But having JB here takes a little of that away from RJ. So, but that's okay. That's not a bad thing because we need JB here. I don't know what they will both become. RJ couldn't be really solid and find his way probably around 22 points per game for his career and really lock in there. Be a solid player for an NBA team, the Knicks or whoever, and be a good contributor. There's guys out there on teams that are just like that. Like, you could just say that guy is going to give me this. I know what he's going to give me, but I'm going to rely on this guy. Like, this is the guy that I'm really like.
Kevin Middleton, for example. How about Middleton? No one
damn
looks
it,
at him
Wiz,
as a superstar.
get out of my head, bro. I was just going to say Kevin Middleton. Keith.
Oh, man.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No,
Wiz.
go ahead.
You saying it, brother.
Like, oh, man, because no one is
that's
like,
crazy.
Superstar, all-star, he's going to be. And I'm like, that's what Milwaukee needed, that one guy to make them a champion. And now everyone's worried about them. And when they all healthy, what's going to happen with him, Drew? And I mean, so yes, I think we're not even going to go Jimmy Butler because I think Butler is actually a step above Middleton. So Middleton is enough and has all the skill sets that Giannis needs next to him to help him win a championship, and it is a proven record. So I'm just, I can't dismiss even Brunson's a point guard. Yes, initially my thought was, can Brunson lead us to a championship? And I'm like, wait a second, let's take a look back. Who was Jordan's point guard? Oh, or who was, it could go through who was LeBron's point guard, in except for Kyrie. You saw looking back at it was the lockdown season basically, right? The COVID season, but Schroeder, right? And what's his name from Boston? I just drew a blank. Who everyone says can't shoot, but during the playoffs, he hit the shots he had to hit. So I'm just like, you just need a certain type of player to fit the right slot with another player, and that's what they need to take the next step. So
Right.
not everyone's going to be, you know, of course, have a Steph Curry and a, you know, Clay and a Jordan Poole and a Draymond and go. So basically, what Keith wants is a 5 all-stars or superstars. Basically, that's what he wants. No one. There should be nobody who has actually just above average basketball skills, who does basically fundamentals well.
Mhm.
Everyone's got to be a superstar. At least an elite skill set that makes people go, "Oh yeah, he deserves to be on the team to win a championship." That's not actually. I don't think of any team in the NBA history that had all 5 guys that skilled. I mean, maybe the early Boston team against the Lakers, and even they got beat by the Lakers. So as when I think back, you got to go way back for that kind of, almost 5 All-Stars on the same team starting to win a championship. I can't think of it.
Yeah, and that Keith, that part is not fair. Mathurin is a rookie and is better than RJ. No, I don't think that's the case. You could say Mathurin is playing really well as a rookie. He has a chance to win Rookie of the Year, and he has shown that his ability, like his potential, could be higher than RJ's. That I can agree with. I can say that's true. I can't say Mathurin is better because if I look at Mathurin's numbers right now compared to what RJ's done for the season, don't look now, guys, but RJ's numbers are creeping up back to some level of stability where you can say, okay, and I think RJ's also raised his 3-point shooting to around 34%. So things are turning around.
Systems matter. I mean, I know a 30-20 guy almost named was in Minnesota named Kevin Love that was not the best power forward in the league. And then when he came to Cleveland, he was number 3 player. And his numbers dropped dramatically because he wasn't the go-to for everything, to do everything kind of guy. So are they letting Mathurin get more run and a certain position, more shots and everything? And the system is feeding him more? Probably. And I think that is what's going on with them right now.
Well, I don't want to say that necessarily, Wiz, because I will say RJ's usage rate is still pretty high on this Knicks team. He gets the touches. Yeah. He gets the touches, yeah. So I don't want to give that excuse because then I'd be like, okay, because he gets the touches. But Mathurin has been doing very well with the amount of usage he's getting coming off the bench, and so it does look really promising. How he's playing, his shooting has been a lot more consistent than what you've seen from RJ. Plus, he's had this pit bull thing all season. Like, he's a dog out there, and you gotta love it. And we haven't even seen the most explosiveness because Mathurin got some hops, and he hasn't even really unleashed it that much. So yeah, he's a very interesting player, nice player to have. And RJ just can't really the athleticism and certain ability. Mathurin has that over him. But in the end, remember what we said before about RJ is that he's smart. He's not flappable. Like he doesn't get fazed by things. He understands how to handle himself. And that can help you long term too. Even if you're not a pit bull and if you don't have the athleticism, if the lights aren't too big for you and you don't care, because one thing about RJ, he don't care. You can give him the ball 100 times. He's going to take 100 shots if that's what he needs to do. He don't care. And he's not worried about anybody who he's facing. It's just that we wish that he would be a little smarter with his decisions, get his team involved more, and just try to be a little bit more consistent.
I could actually bash Mathurin a little bit. I love Mathurin, but he's doing 17, 4, and 1.5 assists. And I'd be like, man, Mathurin in college he can drop dimes everywhere. How come he's not averaging more than 1.4 assists a game for the season? I mean, obviously, is he being too selfish? And therefore, why is he only averaging 17 points a game then? He can always try to find flaws in people's games.
Right.
Obviously, Mathurin, I'll take him right now. I'll trade the entire Knicks squad for Mathurin and start off with that one player and then build from there. No, I wouldn't do that.
I don't know.
No, but because Mathurin reminds me of Dwayne Wade a lot, man. I'm like, oh man,
I see.
he's
I
got this.
see.
I mean, 6'5", freaky athletes, great shooting, 3-pointers, amazing assist, ability. That dog. I mean, it's kind of the kind of things where you go, man. Would I build around Mathurin? Yes. Would I build around RJ or Randall Brunson? Probably not. But right now, Mathurin is not outplaying RJ. He's just out flashing him right now. Flasher plays, and he's out ESPN highlighting him right now. That's all he's doing right now. But
Yeah.
he's obviously a gifted player.
All right. Well, I don't want to spend too much time going back and forth on RJ and Mathurin, but I will say this, and thank you for respecting my opinion, Keith. I appreciate that. But you can't say that he's going to brick 100 shots after a night when he shot 6 for 6 from 3 and shot 70% from the field off of 20 shots. Come on, Keith. I know you don't. I don't know what RJ did to you this year. I know, but you definitely he's in your doghouse, bro. I don't know what he did. I get it. He struggled and he hasn't been consistent, but he's playing well now, and it's better late than never. Okay, we're not even at the All-Star break. We still got a lot of time, and these Knicks can, ride the wave of RJ's good play and the rest of the team's play into possibly a playoff berth. Don't give up on the guy yet. Well, we still got 50 games or so to play, or whatever, 40 some odd games, whatever it is.
Keith lost money because Keith actually probably bet somebody that Zach Wilson going to be the star quarterback, and for those Jets fans looking at Zach Wilson, Keith probably was like, Zach's the man, and then he broke his heart, so maybe he's trying to latch out to somebody. Is that what it is, Keith? Are you a Zach Wilson fan?
Hey, listen, I don't know about all that.
I'm sorry, Jets players. I'm a Giants fan, so I have to get the Jets players.
Here we go. I mean, I'm a Giant fan too, but I'm not happy with what's going on with those Jets, because you know what? I feel like the Giants were there too. Season 1, season 2, dealing with Daniel Jones it hasn't been great. So I understand. But right now, I bet the Jets would love Daniel Jones as their quarterback right now. I tell you that.
But that 20-yard line back in the day, they had like a little bump, right? There's a pothole when he fell down on that run. I mean, Daniel Jones.
I was watching that highlight yesterday too. That was crazy.
I'm not a big Daniel Jones fan either, but yeah, and so maybe if I was looking at it from Keith's point of view, I wouldn't give Daniel Jones the props that we are giving RJ, even though Daniel Jones has been a good game manager so far this year. So maybe that's what it is.
It is what it is. I like the fact that Keith is standing on his position. He respects that other people have opinions, but that is what it is. Everybody's entitled to opinion, and right now Keith is sour on RJ. All I can tell you, Keith, is you got to look at what it is, and understand that if RJ continues to play like this, if RJ goes another 7 games averaging 20 points and playing the way he's playing, then he's playing well. Is he a superstar? No. Is he a star? No. But he's playing well for our Knicks team. Do we need more? Yes, but we don't have it. And it's not coming from anywhere else. We just have to rock with what we got until something changes, if it changes, because who knows? And to everybody else, I mean, it is what it is, guys. We this is our Knicks team, man. This is who we got, and we got to rock with them. They were the same Knicks team that won 8 in a row. They've lost the last 2, but we can't be mad at them all the time. We can't be happy about everything either. It's a happy balance. You got to be level-headed with it and just hope for the best, because this team is missing certain things to take us to the next level. But hey, maybe we can play good down the stretch and make it into the playoffs, and then make a little bit of a run. If we get to a first round and get through it and actually make a second round, I think that's a huge season for the Knicks. I think as a fan, I'd be very happy with that. Do I want more? Of course, but I know what this Knicks team is. And, at first I didn't even know if this Knicks team can make the playoffs. And they're showing me that with a couple changes they made, they definitely can make the playoffs if they continue to play that way. We got to see if Thibodeau figures out a way to keep these guys fresh, because he's going to definitely wear them out. And then all the good play you're starting to see from them is going to keep getting worse, because they're eventually going to get too tired to be able to do anything. So we'll see. But let me just get through these numbers real quick and then get this off the screen. once again, looking at the box score for the Knicks. So RJ played 39 minutes. So keep that in mind. Julius Randle played 38 minutes, 11 for 22, 50% from the field, 5 for 10 from 3, 50%, which is very nice. 2 for 5 from the free throw line, not that great. But he had 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 29 points. Nice game for Julius Randle. Mitchell Robinson played 28 minutes, 1 of 3 from the field. He had 6 rebounds, 1 assist, no blocks, 2 points. I don't think Mitch had a good game. In my opinion, you may look at him and say that maybe he affected other shots out there. I don't think this was the best game from Mitch, and I think that's a difference. I think Mitch has to command the boards. I think the fact that he only had 6 rebounds in 28 minutes is not great. He didn't have a block, which sometimes that doesn't always matter as long as you affect a lot of shots. But as you can see, I went over the Chicago Bulls numbers, and all 3 of their all-star players had good games. Once again, 25 from DeRozan, 21 from Vucevic, 33 from Levine. And if you look at the shooting, 42%, 50%, 54% from the field. We did not do a great enough job at deterring them from getting to their spots and getting their shots off. And that has to do with Mitch as well. So Jalen Brunson played 38 minutes, 5 of 15, 33%, 1 of 3, 33%, 1 of 4 from the free throw line, 25%. This is the part that concerns me, the free throw situation. He had 4 rebounds, 9 assists, 12 points for the game. But as I said, I'm going to give the Bulls a lot of credit because they affected Jalen Brunson with him getting to his spots and trying to break them down like he normally does to teams. They did a really good job of helping when he got into the lane or tried to get into the lane. And so I give them credit for that. And it just puts you like, that's the whole thing. If you go up, if I give you the ball and tell you, here, take 6 shots, and in those 6 shots, I play great defense on you. Like you can't even really get your shot off. It's uncomfortable. You're not getting to the spots you want. And don't forget, AO blocked Brunson's shot down the stretch in the 4th quarter as well. But if I do that to you, right, and then I tell you, here, the 7th shot I'm giving you is for the game. Hit this shot to win it all. That's not easy to do after I gave you 6 shots and made it hard for you and you didn't get good looks and maybe you hit 1 of the 6, for example. And then I tell you, here, take this 7th shot. This is for everything. You got no rhythm. You got no flow, no continuity. The Bulls did that. So shout out to the Bulls, man. They did that. And then when Brunson had to the point when he got to the free throw line, he had all that pressure in his head. Stuff was going on. He just wasn't seeing the rim right. Like the ball wasn't going in the way it affects you. And then DeRozan talking, I don't think really mattered, but it just didn't help. It didn't look good, but that didn't matter. Brunson just didn't have the right flow, the right shot, going into the rim. He just didn't really see it. And as you can see, that first I was just going to say that first shot was off to the right. That's not even how he shoots.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
But go ahead.
Now, do you see the adjustments that Tips could have done for both Mitch and for Brunson during the match that could have helped their game somewhat? Because both of them we saw were off. From the first half, they were off. Coming to the second half, I mean, is there anything that you'd have tried to move, like schemes? Maybe Mitch, 3-2 defense, maybe, go more zone. That's 1-1. Switch him off to from Vucevic, maybe. Let's put Randle on Vucevic. Something else that could have helped them, find their rhythm, find something that, because they were both off their normal game. There's something was going on. Obviously, Chicago is a factor, but it could have also just been them not quite getting into the rhythm of what they normally do. Mm-hmm. And because they were off, you're like, how do I get Brunson, and maybe a layup for Brunson would have got them back. Just get one clean layup and you would have been like, okay, it went in the basket. I kind of feel a little bit better. Or totally off the ball completely and let, RJ and Randle and Grimes, bring the ball up. Is there any thoughts that you had that would have been, obviously we don't know, we can't test it. But I'm just thinking there were possibilities of something like that. And my first thought was let Grimes bring the ball up, or RJ, but again, RJ handled the ball a bit more. and then let Brunson run to the corner and then try to do some, I don't know, backdoor or something, just to kind of let him feel, the ball, away from the ball and get the guy who's guarding him run around, follow him around. Because Brunson probably just kept running, and eventually he gets a chance to have an open play against whoever's guarding him just to throw him off. But with Mitch, I didn't know what it was to help Mitch with. My thought was get him involved in the offense and let him get a couple alley oops. Because, like I said, he only had 2 points at half. Oh, the whole game he only had 2 points.
Yep.
Whole game he had 2 points, which means that there were no plays right for Mitch at all.
Mm-hmm.
So to a certain extent, let him get a couple of alley oops just to feel it, even if he gets blocked or fouled or something. Because he had 2 points with Mitch had 0 free throws, so he didn't have a chance to even get fouled at the rim.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm just saying that seems so unusual for a guy to put in 29 minutes and be a center and that much of a contact player and get no free throws at all and put up 2 points. I mean, man, if I was on the West 4th Street basketball court and I get 2 points, I mean, I'm glad I got off my nut because that's what they'll be talking about me. But I'd be like, I'm just gonna take a 3-pointer from midcourt, even if I was a center, just to be like, guys, you gonna leave me out here like this? And just let me do something.
Well,
So that's my thought.
That's the thing, Wiz. Like, the certain players, they obviously Mitch is the type that he needs the Knicks to get him going because he can't get it going himself. He doesn't have that prowess and he doesn't feel comfortable doing it. I always point to the fact that every offseason we see this guy working on 3-point shots, 2-point shots, back downs, post ups, hooks. Never see any of it, but it is what it is. Another interesting thing that I was looking at right now. So Quentin Grimes played 35 minutes, right? 3 of 11 from the field, 27%, 2 of 8 from 3, 25%, 0 of 2 from the free throw line. He had 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block. Yeah, that's him. 1 block, 2 turnovers. Okay, right? He finished with 8 points. But isn't it interesting that we needed to hit big free throws down the stretch? And out of everybody you see here that, you think might have a shot to hit the free throws, the 2 guys that went to the line in the clutch moment are the 2 guys that struggled shooting all night. Isn't that interesting? And so, like, I can't even kill them too much. It's not like Jalen was knocking down his shots. He was 5 of 15. He was 1 of 3 from 3. It's not like Quentin Grimes was knocking down his shots. He was 3 of 11 from the field. He was, 2 of 8 from 3. These guys were not shooting well, and these are the 2 guys that we sent to the line in the clutch. I mean, you can't really they get fouled or whatever it is what it is. But in the fairness, Sim said this last night, and I gotta agree with him 100%. If you want the ball, then you got to knock down the shots. At least hit 1. Jalen went to go get that ball towards the end. He wanted that moment, and he didn't do it. So if you go get the ball and you want it in your hands, you got to knock it down. You got to knock it. It's like a football game when the quarterback throws the ball to a receiver and the receiver drops it, or it's intercepted, but it was in the receiver's hands. If it hits your hands, you're supposed to catch it. That's how it is. So, yeah, man, it's tough. What do you think about that, Wiz?
Oh, man. I mean, I got to 100% agree. I mean, I personally was always get on on Randall, when Randall is like 1 for 5 or 1 for 6, and he keeps on shooting 3-pointers, from 3, that is. I was like, Randall, you can score 80% from 2. Why you don't keep taking 3-pointers? So the same thing with Grimes and to some extent Brunson. Your game is off, and when you're shooting this off. I mean, there's no NBA player I can think of who's a shooter and has scoring like these 2 do, and not say my shot's off today. Something is off. I'm just not feeling. I'm not seeing that basket clearly. It's not going through the net when I release. Something was off, and therefore there had to be some adjustments even by them on the floor. I couldn't go for the ball if I was Brunson in that scenario. I could not say, give me the ball. I mean, again, he's thinking he's a finisher on the team, and he probably is a closer. But something about his game, he should have said, maybe this is not the game that I'm going to close on. Let me make sure that RJ or Randall get the ball to end this game. And yeah, you can't get that ball again, man. I've had quarterbacks. I played wide receiver for a little bit. I've had QBs look away and be like, "If you drop this ball, I'm not gonna throw it to you again." I mean, just one time. No matter how great I was before, he goes, "If you drop this ball, you're not gonna get it again." Fortunately, one time I did fumble the ball, and QB was like, "That ball's in your head. Why you even fumble?" And I was like, "I called it right." But he goes, "Yeah, but I saw you fumble like you weren't sure." And he was totally right. I was off that day where I just couldn't see that perfect grip when the ball came in my hand. And I understood. I said, "You know what? You're probably right. Let me just, be a deterrent, and I'll just run my route so that the guys on the other side get the ball." So yeah, this is a rough one. Oh man, I would love to have seen. I mean, I just really hate to see both of them miss both free throws. I mean, even just get one of two would have made me feel better. Obviously, would have made the game, more competitive and possibly won the game, at least tie the game. But to go 0 for 2 back to back, those two guys. Wow, that kind of
That
stuff.
is very true. Very true. And the other thing is, shout out to the chat. And I'm so out of it. I forgot to today's Saturday, and because of what's going on, there's football today, and my Giants are playing right now, and I'm missing it.
Yes.
So I'm about to get off. But I forgot about that. Now, not that I think that they're necessarily going to win, because they are playing a tough team, and as much as I love my Giants, I understand that physically the talent that they have on the team, they're lacking a lot of talent.
And Minnesota's got skills.
Yeah, exactly. So it is what it is. But anyway, Sherwin said, and shout out to you, Mets, Knicks fans. Let's go. I became a Knicks fan in the late 70s, seen so many players on the Knicks. RJ is not the problem with the Knicks. No. We've got other issues. And as long as RJ plays like this, he's fine. And we could look at him a certain way. When he was playing like the way he was playing earlier in the season, that's different. RJ can get the brunt of a lot of issues because he just was not looking good at all. Sherwin said we played 8 unhealthy teams. Oops, got to mute this. And we are not an 8 straight win team. Well, I mean, we won 8 straight, but if you're saying, listen, the bottom line is whoever's going out there and you got to play them, you got to do what you got to do. It is what it is. But yes, the Knicks did get a lot of breaks that these teams did have health issues, and you got them at the right time. And that's kind of been the Knicks season. We've got a lot of breaks as far as guys not being there at certain points, but you still got to win the games. And listen, the good thing about winning games like that is about winning. The point is to win, and when you win, you get a confidence, right? So then the next time you play a healthy team or a team that's better than expected, better than you put up a good effort because you're confident in yourself, because you have wins. Well, it doesn't matter. The Knicks don't look like, oh well, when we played these guys, this guy wasn't there. No, they're just trying to get the victories. So it's helpful to the psyche. As fans, we look at it and say, oh well, this guy wasn't there, and so maybe it would have been different. Well, the point is he wasn't there, and we took the advantage of the game, and we won. And that's what matters. Like right now, the Giants are 8-5-1, and some people would say that the Giants are not as good as their record dictates. And that may be true. We may be playing above our head over here, but we have good coaching, and they believe in what's being said to them, and they're following, right? And then you're playing the Minnesota Vikings, who are 11-3, and they've got an incredible offense, right? And incredible players, but it's 10-7 right now. The Giants are right in this game. I'm not saying they're going to win, but they have a chance. The point is, when you believe in yourself, anything can happen. So
I'm calling the W. I'm calling the W. Trying to
win. Wiz is on one. He said, "We winning. Let's go. Let's go, Wiz." I like it. Shout out to Gideon Amankwa. G Money's in the building. Salute to you. Happy holidays to you and yours, my brother. Appreciate you as always. And once again, guys. Oh, shout out to King Ribby as well. Appreciate you. Happy holidays. Wacko in Brooklyn. Shout out to you. Happy holidays, brother. Wacko in Brooklyn said Tibbs was frustrated with the crowd noise with Brunson at the line. Yeah, I don't know what that was about. You playing at home. I don't know what that's about.
But that's actually shouldn't affect a pro like like Brunson does.
It shouldn't, but at home, you come on, man. You got to
You
shut
wanna
up and let
have
your
to, yeah.
guys focus.
Oh
I hear
man,
you
I
though.
think DeRozan messed him up. I think DeRozan said something about his girl or something.
Yeah,
He probably
maybe he
called her
might
out.
have he might have hit him with the Kevin Garnett, Carmelo Anthony Honey Nut Cheerios line. I don't know. Maybe maybe he did that. I don't know.
Oh
But yeah,
man.
let me finish up these numbers real quick. So Isaiah Hartenstein played 19 minutes, 2 of 2 from the field, 1 of 1 from 3. He actually hit a 3, guys. Can you imagine?
What?
Uh, he had 7 rebounds and 1 block. Finished with 5 points. I think he played decent. I can't really blame him for anything that took place. It is what it is.
He had more points and rebounds than Mitch did with 10
Thank you.
minutes.
I
Oh
was
no.
just gonna say he had more points,
Oh,
rebounds, and more blocks than what Mitch did in less minutes, in 10 less minutes, pretty much. So yeah, that's something to look at.
oh no. I'm
Then
sorry, Mitch.
yeah, it's tough. Then you got Emmanuel quickly, who even though he's had some duds, he seems to be like going back and forth. Like he seems one day he's got it, next day he doesn't. One day he's got it, the next day he doesn't. In this game, I think he was pretty good. He was played 21 minutes. He's 6 of 10 from the field, 60%, 1 of 5 from 3. He didn't really have it going from there, 20%, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 15 points. Then to round everything out, you got Miles McBride played about 10 minutes, finished with 2 points, 2 assists. And then Jericho Sims played about 10 minutes, 9 minutes or so. Even Jericho, in 9 minutes, he had 5 rebounds,
I'm bored.
1 steal.
I know.
Come on,
Oh
Mitch.
man,
Come on, Mitch.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Oh
so
man.
that's
Real quick,
pretty much.
would you sign Mitch this summer?
Yeah, I think I still would have signed him because remember what Mitch was doing for us in 3 years. He was making 1.8 million. I mean, come on.
Right. How about Matt? How about iHeart? Would you sign iHeart? With
uh,
Sims looking like he did end of last year?
well, yeah, because remember, Sims didn't look like the Sims we see now last year. Sims started to play well towards the end of the season when we played. That's the same time when Obi was getting busy, those last 3, 4 games, 5 games, whatever it was. And then we saw in the summer league, Sims was looking pretty good and starting to bring the ball up the court and do some different things that we hadn't seen Sims do before. But that's the summer league. Like the Knicks can't say he's definitely going to be doing this against the NBA competition and when the games matter.
Would you have
In
drafted
fairness,
Duran? How about
yeah.
center-wise? Would you have kept Duran on the draft? Who was it? That's the red, right? They gave him for Kemba. Was it Duran?
Jalen Duran.
Would you have kept him instead of iHeart if you had a turn?
I mean, listen, if you could turn back the hands of time and if you had a choice between Duran or iHeart, then yes, of course you take Duran. But remember, we needed to do that to be able to get off of that Kemba contract to get him out of here. Would the Knicks have been better off just cutting Kemba and eating the money and then being able to keep Duran?
That's what I would have done.
Maybe.
Yes.
So
was Kemba 14 mil?
I think Kemba was around 8 mil, I think. 8.
Yeah. So even less. So it probably would have probably been a 5 mil hit, right?
Yeah, but I think what the problem was is the Knicks were trying to maneuver some things because we didn't have a lot of money to play around with, so we had to kind of maneuver stuff. So they needed to get Kemba's money off the books in order to have some of that money to help them with their other signings.
Right, I know.
So that's kind of like that's what happened. I think it was needed for other things. They put themselves in that position.
Going back, we could play money quarterback all day. By the time I was like, eat that money, man, eat that money, keep doing it, eat that money, what's it, Usman, whoever it was, just keep one of those rookies, man. I mean, I know there's gonna be a young team, all rookie and sophomore team almost with just Randall basically, and RJ being the 3 or 4 year players. 3 years or above players. IQ kind of, but it was like, yeah, man, let's do it. That's what Memphis did. I mean, let's do an all rookie team and start from there. I'm not opposed to that. I know fans would have been mad. Tibbs would have been really mad because Tibbs doesn't want too many young players. He loves his vets. But I was going to just make that deal. But that's again hindsight.
Yeah, I mean, that goes back to our questioning what the Knicks were going to do. Make a decision. Go a certain direction. Are you going to go rookie and just build that way and cultivate and develop these young guys and just deal with it? Like, are you comfortable with going through the process of what OKC is dealing with? As Knicks fans, I don't know if all the Knicks fans would be happy with that. I know some are okay. I was okay with it either way. I don't care. As long as I know that we're going to get talent and continue to grow these guys and be in a good spot to be better later. But some fans don't want to see that because there's a lot of losing involved in that, right? You look at the Detroits, the Houstons, the OKCs, there's a lot of losing in that. Sometimes they surprise you. Some of these, they win these big games. OKC definitely win some big games as well. But there's a lot of losing. Then the other side is, do you go all in and say, listen, we want to win now. We got Tibbs here now. We got Julius here now. Let's bring some guys in and put them around them and try to go for it. Let's make the best team possible, and we'll just rock with that. We make the playoffs. Maybe if we don't get where we want to go, maybe we can change out a piece. I don't know. But that's the other approach. And the Knicks haven't decided to do that either. We've decided to just stay in the middle and see where it takes us. So that's what we're dealing with. To round out these stats, the team comparison. So obviously the Knicks lost 117, 118. We out rebounded them 47-41. The rebounding total was a little closer this time around than the last time. They out assisted us 24-23. They had more steals, 6-2. We finished same in blocks, 4-4. We had 10 turnovers. That's not good compared to their 4. They only turned over the ball 4 times, guys. We did not put enough defensive pressure on them in this whole game. So as much as I want to say the Knicks played well, like I said, I was looking at how these guys scored. Zach LaVine got his shots off. DeRozan got his shots off, and Vooch got his shots off. And I was just looking at that, and I could tell that the Knicks didn't play as well defensively as I would have liked. Now, seeing that they only had 4 turnovers to our 10 means we did not affect them the way we should have. We shot 50% from the field. They shot 48. We shot 45% from 3, which is crazy. We'll take that. Thank you, RJ. They shot 45% as well. Another stat that shows that we weren't playing effective defense on them, allowing them to shoot 45% from 3. We shot 57% from the free throw line. That is horrible, guys. You're not going to win a lot of games when you shoot 57% from the free throw line, especially if the game is close. And they shot 77%. So, yeah. And this looking at the points in the paint, 48 for the Knicks, 40 for them. 20 for the Knicks second chance points compared to their 11. And then fast break points, they had 9 and we had 6. And that's the tale of the tape, guys. And that's the story. That's what happened in the game. And, I think it comes down to the Knicks defense in this game just wasn't as good as it's been in the previous 9 games. And that's part of the reason why we lost. Yeah, that says it all. That says it all.
Tomorrow, I'm sorry, but this is my first time ever, second time ever I'm going to predict that we may not necessarily match up with Philadelphia tomorrow.
Well, you know what? While you're talking about that, let me look at the matchup and see if you're right, because we may not match up with them tomorrow. It may be kind of tough. We'll see. So the Knicks average 114.5 points per game. Philadelphia averages 111. The Knicks average 47 rebounds per game. The rebounds for the Sixers is 40.7. We're averaging 23.2 assists. They're averaging 24.4. We're averaging 6.9 steals. They're averaging 8.6. We're averaging 4.4 blocks. They're averaging 4.5. We're averaging 13.2 turnovers. They're averaging 14. We're averaging 45.9 points from the field. Field goal percentage. And they're averaging 47.5 field goal percentage. We're shooting 33.8 from the three-point line. They're shooting 38.3. And then we're shooting 78.8 from the free throw line. They're shooting 81.9. So once again, these numbers are interesting. And technically, it shows that the the Knicks have a chance to win this game. Now, I will say that some of these stats are a little off because the Sixers have had issues health-wise for a lot of the season. Harden missed a lot of games. He's back now, but he missed a lot of games. They haven't had Maxey for a good amount of games now, and he's still out. And so you got Joel Embiid, who is basically carrying the heavy lifting, but we're not seeing them at full strength. So that's another thing that makes them very interesting. And I know they are playing better in the last few games that Harden's been back with them, and having Joel Embiid together. They've been playing better. Points in the paint, Knicks are 54.5 compared to Philadelphia's 44.9. Second chance points, 9.9 for Philly compared to the Knicks 17. And fast break points, 13.9 for Philly, 13.6 for the Knicks. So what this basically tells me, guys, if you were just going off of these numbers, like I said, some of these numbers are skewed because Philadelphia is a little healthier now than they were before. The Knicks have a very good shot of winning this basketball game. And shout out to Danny B from the Knicks Morning Drive. He was featured on the New York Post. They did a little feature on him talking about the Knicks and the historic Christmas games. I think the Knicks have played the most Christmas games in history, actually. It was something like that. And we've played Philadelphia the most ever. Like I think it's 12 times on Christmas or something like that. So shout out to Danny B for that stat. Yeah, it's interesting. So or maybe it's 25 times, I think. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, what were you gonna say, Wiz?
But Philly played 31 games. Of the big three, Embiid has played 23, Tyrese has played 15, and Harden has played 17. So none of them have even played more than 23 games of their 31. So they really have been out of rhythm, and they're just trying to get their rhythm going. And obviously, 7 games in a row is a nice sign that when they're together, they may be getting rolling. And that's the only scary part, is that the numbers are not showing those guys. Where Harden has played almost only half the games, and actually, Maxey has played 15, so less than half the games Maxey has played. So, oh man, it's gonna be, yeah. I mean, I look forward to a good game though, but the tough part is we've been losing at home, and that's hard. That's hurtful. I really don't want us to lose at the Garden. By the way, I've never seen the Knicks lose a game in my entire life. Every game I've been to, they've won. Same for the Yankees, by the way. So my proposal is this: see if it's going to work. Talk to Cashman and Dolan to give me season tickets, fly me around the country first class, and let me go to every game. And we could be undefeated all year if these guys will take care of me like that. So put the word out there. So I've never seen them lose a game ever.
Okay, there you go.
That's out there. Okay, Dolan, you hear the word? And if they lose one while I'm out, then you can cut the deal. But if they're winning when I show up, then we keep going, and I'll just take a small salary. Give me like 1/10 of Randall's salary. That's all I'll take.
Yeah, then we know you the X factor. You're the missing piece. The missing ingredient is Wiz. There you go.
Exactly.
Well, listen, guys. I want to thank you all for being here, bearing with me on this Christmas Eve. I hope you guys are enjoying yourself. If you have time off, or just these next couple of days to be able to spend with your loved ones, or even by yourself. Maybe it's just all about you. Whatever. Make the best of it and enjoy yourselves. Hopefully tomorrow the Knicks will win the game. I'm not going to predict any score or anything because I'm really horrible at that. I have no idea. I just know that looking at the tail of the tape here, Knicks have a chance to win the game. And historically, they've been pretty good at playing on Christmas Day. So, maybe it's in the cards for the Knicks. I don't know. I predicted on Still Knicks Fans Weekly that they were going to lose tomorrow. But now that we've lost these last 2 games, the Knicks are playing a little bit more in a desperate fashion. So maybe anything can happen and they wind up winning tomorrow. So we'll see. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Happy holidays to you and yours as always. Wiz, any final thoughts about the Knicks and tomorrow's game?
Like you said, I couldn't come out hungrier, angrier, hangry. They should come out there ready to go off. Brunson and Tibbs and those guys put their brains together to try to find a way to not let whatever these teams are think they figured out about him to help his game, because I really want to see Brunson flourish. I'm going to NBA app. I'm going to vote for him for All-Star game. I want to see him, get his flowers. I'll vote for Randall too, by the way, Keith. So let you know I'm going to vote for Randall also. And I think tomorrow's game, I hope it's really competitive. I'm not tied into what the outcome is, because if we lose to a team like Philly, with them fully loaded with those three guys, it's not a bad sign. I just don't want to get blown out on the garden floor. I just want it to be a competitive game. And I just want to wish, first of all, you all the blessings and fortune in the world. I hope this Christmas, I don't know if you can be Jewish, your Hanukkah celebration, go ahead and light your several candles and stuff. Ramadan, Kwanzaa, Festivus for the rest of us. I wish you the best of everything. Next year, hopefully, I'll be able to buy the ticket for you to go to the game in person with your family. That's going to be my wish towards you. This is the next year wish, okay, not this year. So, fly, take your first class, limo, the whole nine, with a nice meal, and then you go to the game, and you'll shout me out in the stands, because I may be in Jamaica in the sun relaxing, because I'm not going to be in no winter. I'm sorry, I can't do the winter anymore in New York. I'm suffering out here in LA, 65, almost 7 degrees out here. And, the sun's beating down, and I'm like getting a little chilly with a 7-degree wind chill factor of 65. But thank you to the chat. Thank you for having me come on here. And I appreciate all you do, man. I'll talk to you later in the week.
Oh, man. Thank you, Wiz. Listen, have you ever seen the movie Trading Places with Eddie Murphy and
Yeah.
Listen, if we can make anything happen, I want us to be able to have that scene at the very end when they're sipping pina coladas on the beach and you're on the yacht. I'll be on the beach and we can just be talking, because I can't swim, so I could be on the beach. I keep my feet planted. Yeah, man, just feeling good, man. Feeling good. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. Have a great one, man. Enjoy yourself. Julian Blum, shout out to you. Happy holidays to you and your fam. Appreciate you. He says he wants a blowout after these 2 losses. I hear you, bro. Well, we'll see what happens, man. Hope for the best. Let's go Knicks. Happy weekend. Happy, healthy weekend for everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's been another great show. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. To anybody new who may have now just joined the Still Knicks Fans family, thank you guys. Hopefully you did enjoy the content and keep coming back. As I always say, tell a friend who tells a friend who tells another friend. Still Knicks fans, we'll be back again. I'm still debating on whether or not I'm going to do the SKF weekly this week. Like I said, John's on vacation, and Jose is going to be on vacation this week coming up. So I may do it by myself. We'll see. But if I don't, thank you guys. It's been a pleasure. And you can see us normally on Mondays, SKF Weekly at 9 p.m. On Thursdays at 8 p.m. on the NBK network for the NBA report. That's Nothing But Knicks with a little bit of NBA. Or you can catch us on Saturdays at 11 a.m. for Know the Ledge. And guys, I wanted to really kind of deep dive into it, but we'll have plenty of time to talk about it. Are the Knicks, better than what we thought? Were we wrong in assuming that these Knicks were not that good? And the fact that they made the personnel changes, is this the Knicks team that they always saw? Is this the Knicks team that they saw in practice that we didn't see? That they couldn't figure out why we were playing so bad, why we weren't buying into the system, why we were doing certain things that didn't make sense. Maybe this is what they've seen all along, but we just haven't had a chance. So, guys, we'll take a bigger deep dive into that maybe next week. Once again, hopefully you guys have a happy and healthy one. The other thing is, I think we all need to understand that no matter what's going on, this is our team. We've got these players. They're here. They want to be Knicks. We got to rock with them. Sometimes, as a unit, we all have to.
See if I know the ledge.
We got to know the ledge, man. Don't jump out that window. Don't do it. Don't do it, okay? I know it's easy to criticize and think that we have the worst of everything, but we don't. We may not have the best of everything, but they're not the worst either. So enjoy yourselves. Have a happy holidays. Wiz, it's been a pleasure. It's been real. You eat some good stuff, whether you celebrate today or tomorrow. Enjoy yourself, man.
Thank you, sir. You have a great one. Thank you.
All right, man. We'll catch you on the next one. You guys take care.